that's the only way to approach it, because you just got to deal with what's in front of you at that moment, really, and just play your best hockey and adjust as you need to adjust.
Busy sports weekend on the Post University campus. Women's hockey up at Stonehill right now, 1-1 in the second period. So Eagles have gotten on the board 4-10-1 on the season for the women's hockey program. We'll go around the Post University sports team in the first intermission, as we do all first intermissions here on the Post University Sports Network. Second intermission will go around the NE10 conference. Keep you up to date on the soccer game throughout this game and the women's hockey game, which is also playing live right now. So a couple of 1-1 scores both in soccer, which is at halftime, and midway through the second period, the hockey game is 1-1 up at Stonehill. And a quick thank you to all of our sports information staff and all of our producers and people who work with us. They are stretched incredibly thin right now with all of the action. Plus, you've got volleyball in the CACC Championship this weekend at home as well. They're 25-4, so very busy time. Not to mention basketball.
Yeah, I wish it would be great if people could see like what's involved with the setup here with the electronics and what these guys and gals got to do to make everything sound and look good.
Yeah, couldn't do it without them. We can't thank them enough, led by Mike Vesey. And now we will pause for the playing of our national anthem. Our national anthem here this afternoon at the Sports Center of Connecticut here in Shelton, Connecticut. Coach Pete Whitney, myself, Jeff Nelson, live from the Pete Whitney Broadcast Center. We're going to get a little banner down below here. Get one of those, plus the Post University banner will be all set. So get ready for this afternoon's NE10 conference matchup. St. Mike's 0-1-1 last weekend at Assumption. The Eagles coming off 3 straight losses. Both teams looking to get back into the win column. Big conference game. Again, you don't want to overhype a November conference game before Thanksgiving, but the Eagles need to bank some points on the board. 10 points out of first place already. Again, that will change as time moves on, but you don't want to be chasing a home game in the first round of the NE10 tournament. If you can get one, stay in the game. And again, the Eagles were only 3 points out of a home game at the end of last season.
Right, and they're really close too. They've been competitive in all these games. They just haven't been able to find the back of the net as consistently as they'd like to, which again, like I'm sure they worked on it in practice this week, and I'm sure we'll see a little different story.
Eagles in the home whites going right to left as you look at your screen and dial. The Purple Knights, well, they're in purple. They're going left to right as you look at your screen and dial and wherever you are. Across our Post University Sports Network, we thank you for joining us. It's a hockey afternoon in Connecticut as we're underway here at the Sports Center of Connecticut, and the puck sent in to the Knight zone, played right up on the half wall. Teams bang at it, and here come the Knights out of the zone. It's Torianen who dumps it in. He'll chase after it. Gets there, Ben Baxter first, 6'5", out of Hyannis, Massachusetts. But the puck taken away, and the Eagles bring it out. Long pass looking for Santoro, a little far. Doesn't get to the icing line, so they'll get chipped around the board to Torianen on the far side. 4 players in there. Pops out to center. And out comes Baxter again as everybody changes behind him. But Baxter, with his own head of steam, takes a shot that gets deflected off the stick of Rieger. Not out, though. It was a good play by St. Mike's to keep it in the zone. It's Forsilius who takes a shot right on. Gloved by Kunin. Might have gone wide, but you don't take that chance. 46 seconds into the first period. No score and a face-off to Ben's right as we start play here today.
Forsilius, a Connecticut boy from Guilford.
5'10 junior. Lost that face-off, though, and out come the Eagles with some speed. McMains dumps it in. Murray in there as well. Eagles come away with it. It's back to the point to Glassrud. Glassrud takes looked like a pass more than anything, deflected off the stick in front into the near side corner. Glassrud tried to take it back, lost it again, and here comes Walsh. Walsh gives to Forsilius over the line. He takes a shot again. That goes wide. Bloom dumped as he tried to go toward the net. No penalty call. And then a bad pass in front, almost stolen away by the Eagles. Kimball. Puck deep in the night zone. They're trying to get it out, but Bloom didn't see it. Goes off the back and out to center finally. And then another bad turnover. This one by Walsh. The Eagles will bring it back into the zone. Over the line with a wrist shot off the right pad of Manahan, who had to make his first save of the night. On a little wrist shot by Matt Pacheco. 5'8", 175 out of Belchertown, Massachusetts. Took that shot for the first save of the game by Manahan. Puck pumped high into the air. Taken back in by the Eagles in over the line. Fatkin, a forehand with a shot went Parker Norling. Taken down. I think there may be a penalty here for too many men. Or no? Am I misreading that?
He's in that spot. Hasn't really pointed anything yet, called anything yet. No? All right.
Doesn't look like anything.
And that was a good offensive attempt by Poster. Inside those hash marks, in between the circles, that's where they need to be to shoot, and that's where you'll score some goals from.
At least taking shots toward the net, as this is going to be an icing as it went all the way down and around. Face off back into the night zone, but at least they're putting some pucks on the net, and that's a good start.
100%. 100%. The more you can make the defenders turn, have to lurk and search a puck that you are facing, that's in your benefit for sure.
Santoro on the draw, wins it. Eagles second in the NE10 in faceoffs in this early going. Won that faceoff from Marshall Thomas. Eagles keep it in momentarily. O'Connell sends it back in. Taken by Douglas. Douglas will rim it around, give it to Dresser. Dresser long pass out the center, taken back by O'Connell, who'll send it right back in. Haas chasing after it in the near side corner. Tried to chip it into the slot. Didn't get enough on it, and St. Mike's dumps it back to center. Played into the zone. Comes the Purple Knights with a shot right on. Nice save there as that's A.J. Sacco, the freshman out of Middleton, Massachusetts, who took that puck up on right wing and came in with a quick little shot. Ben had to make a save there to keep that from going into the net. Will Lannon chipped it out the center, taken back by Gazzardi. He'll play it to Rieger, who kicks up to Macau. Macau then turned it over to Winicki, and Winicki will send it in. Kunin leaves it for Kennedy, who gives to Rieger, who gives to Gazzardi. Gazzardi, using some speed, gets out to the red line. He'll high dump it in. Mateo Pekka chasing after it. Pekka gets there first in the near corner. Tries to spin away from the check and gets it to McCall. He'll go back to the point to Kennedy. Kennedy, D to Rieger. Rieger looking for someone in the middle. Didn't get there. McCall picks it up, though, and goes back to Kennedy on left point. Takes a shot toward the net. Goes wide. Gazzardi fights for it on the far side half wall. He'll spin and turn with a little wrist shot. Easy glove save for Manahan with nobody in front. So again, Coach, throwing pucks toward the net, but didn't have anybody in the middle of the ice to set a screen or anything.
Right, but I mean, that's obviously the game plan, just get pucks to the net, and that's never, to quote the famous Hartford whaler Andre Lacroix when he used to broadcast, a shot on goal, it's never a bad play.
Correct. All-time leading scorer in the WHA. Kennedy takes the puck off the faceoff. He'll stop in the middle, now go to right point, still waiting, dumps it down around the boards to Kimball. Kimball checked off, spinning centering pass by McCall. Excuse me, that was McMains. And then a shot on net, stopped by Manahan from Rieger. Rieger does a good job to keep the puck in. Rieger stole it. Rieger in the slot, benches backhand, and Manahan makes a big glove save on a good play there by Rieger. Rieger with the first shot set up a scramble, then stole it on the other side of the ice and had a backhand of his own.
Yeah, Post is doing a really good job right now. I mean, St. Mike's a little bit sluggish, it looks like, coming off the bus, not quite connecting on all their passes, turning some pucks over there. So, I'm sure Coach Fitzgerald is going to talk to them about that and try to get that going.
Bloom and Murray to Manahan's left. Murray wins that draw, but it goes between the two defensemen, and Glassrud will have to pick it up at center. Glassrud tried to dump it in, but stolen away by Dresser. Dresser goes across the ice to the far side where Pacheco has it. Pacheco chipped it to Glassrud. The Eagle captain looking for Murray. It went off a leg. Murray then lost the puck in the zone. He'll chip back at it, gets it back to Glassrud, and the Eagles will try again. Behind the net. Two Purple Knights go after Glassrud. He takes a late hit on top of it, but got the puck away, but not out of the zone. Still in the zone it is as Walsh leaves it and will go off on a line change. And here come the Eagles out of the zone. McMains, a long cross ice pass to McDevitt. Glassrud comes up to help out and taken away by Douglas. Douglas shoots it on net from center ice, stopped by Kunin, and Pacheco goes behind his own net and plays it over here, but stolen. And a nice job to come back for the puck is McQuegan and gets it out to center. McGuigan now with speed coming in over the line with a wrist shot stopped by Manahan as he closed those pads looking for the 5-hole on a singular one-man rush. Down goes O'Connell inside the zone. A centering pass in front, but good defense by McDevitt to get back and keep Thomas from a shot 15 feet out. It's behind the net, played by Sacco. Sacco tries to center. It goes off the back of the net and sent back to the point for a shot that goes wide, rims all the way around and out of the zone as Wolanin stepped in to a wrist shot from the top of the far circle. Missed the net, and the puck went all the way out and back to center.
Yeah, St. Michael's is very good off the rush. That's how they create a lot of their offense. So it's important for Post to have that third man back, have that back checker.
Haas trying to get it out of the zone, kept in again by Winicki. Winicki fighting Santoro, goes past Haas all the way back to the point, taken by Nauman. Nauman dumps it into the near side corner right here in front of us. It goes back to the point. Long shot deflected in front as it went off Nauman, and Ben almost moving a little bit too far to the right, but it managed to get back because the puck wasn't going that fast to make the save. 5:57 into period one. No score here at the Sports Center of Connecticut.
Yeah, good job by St. Michael's. They're cycling the puck from high to low and creating something off the offensive.
Face-off won by St. Mike's. Winicki goes across the ice to defenseman Ashton Allan. Allan keeps it in. Sends it down behind the net. Santoro here first with a nice little chip pass to Rieger. Rieger, though, has to chase it into that Zamboni corner. He'll spin away, make a nice little pass to Haas, and Haas should get out, and he does. Haas being chop-checked all the way to the red line, gets it and dumps it in. Santoro and in front with a shot to Kennedy, as that puck bounced behind the net as William Hawkins makes his first appearance on the ice for the Eagles. Behind the net. Couldn't see the number as it was Hawkins 17, the freshman out of Smithfield, Rhode Island, who made a nice little centering pass and had an opportunity.
Yeah, it's a good way to start when you're jumping into, I think it's your first game, to just make simplify it, simple plays, just in general for the entire team. Simple plays, quick plays, those would be your difference makers.
McCall, Pekka, and Gazzardi out there for the Eagles, but the Knights have the puck. Kennedy sends it back to center where Lely sends it in on Kunin. Kunin leaves it for Kennedy, almost turned it over, and he did. Taken by Lecomte. Lecomte back to the point for a shot. Taken by Douglas, sticked away by Kunin. Kennedy fighting behind the net with Lecomte, and the Eagles come away with it. It's McCall. McCall stops, makes a nice long pass to center. Pekka chips it up into the air and into the Knights zone. Glove down by Dresser. Dresser gets it out, and back come the Knights the other way. Here's Lely. Lely dumps it in, and that whole line of Lely, Lecomte, and Baxter will go off on a line change. As behind the net is McCall. Goes to the far side to Pacheco. Pacheco couldn't get it out of the zone, but Glassrud helped it out, dumped it all the way down the ice. This is probably an icing, and it is. It's interesting early on, Coach, two different styles. Eagles kind of throwing everything into net while St. Mike's is more so cycling and pressuring.
Right, just two different approaches. St. Michael's plays a little bit more puck possession as they try to get through that neutral zone. So that's something Post is going to have to work on. Better neutral zone and that will take away that offensive tool that they like to use off the rush.
Murray and Bloom on the draw. Bloom sort of pushed it forward. That gave Forselius a shot from about 10 feet out that Kunin stopped. Puck goes all the way down the ice. No icing. Originally, the linesman had his arm up, pulled it down. But back comes Ty Bloom for St. Mike's. Bloom over the line on right wing. Looking to center, goes off the leg of Glassrud. And out to center with a long pass comes McCall. McCall over the line with a shot that goes wide. Excuse me, that was McMains, 18, not 16. McMains on the ice with the Murray line. Stick goes flying into the circle. McMains down there fighting with Murray in the near side corner. Goes back to the point to Glassrud. He'll take a wrist shot right on. Looking for a deflection. Swallowed whole by Manahan. With 8:06 gone in period one. Still no score. And again, it seems like early on St. Mike's has had the better shots, chances, but the Eagles probably have more shots on goal.
Right, and what Post needs to do too is this: a lot of their offense are trying to create to move the puck up to the point and get a shot through, so they're going to have more traffic in front of that goaltender.
Eagles win another faceoff, but Hope couldn't keep it in. And so the Eagles start back in their own zone with a pass to Norling. Norling dumps it in. Manahan sticks it behind. McDevitt chasing after it. McDevitt almost won the race. McQuegan then lays a body, and the Eagles come up with the puck. In front to Norling. Rolls off his stick. O'Connell with a shot toward the net. He got the deflection by McQuegan's stick, and Manahan made a good save there. As good pressure by the Eagles. A nice forecheck, but out comes St. Mike's. Have an opportunity at a 3-on-1, and they do. Bringing it over the line with a shot stopped by Kunin. On the 3-on-1 led by Nick Racker, and the Eagles will come back the other way 2-on-2. Here's Norling over the line with a long shot that goes off the leg of Douglas into the corner, then picked up right in the bottom of the circle for a shot that Manahan stopped was Nate McDevitt. Puck rimmed around. It's interesting watching the two different styles early on, Coach, but both goalies tall to the task early on.
Yeah, and that was on that 3-on-1, good idea. He went for low far pad, just had a little bit too much juice on it to make it hang around in front of the net, which is what he was trying to do. But good conceptually, a good play.
St. Mike's turns it over again. Puck it back in their own zone. Santoro sends it around the boards. Pinching in as Rieger goes back to Santoro, goes through him. Now racing in after it is Haas. He tries to go back to the point to Kennedy, but taken away by St. Mike's, and out they come 2-on-3. Nice check by Kennedy to chop the puck off. Stepping in is Rieger, and now Holden Beckett leaves for Santoro, who goes across the ice for Haas. Haas chasing after it. He touched it, so no icing. He lays a hit on Dresser, but Dresser able to play the puck and just out. So Glassrud will go behind his back to Pacheco, and back the other way come the Eagles. But a bad pass and then a turnover by St. Mike's. Santoro shoots it toward the net, blocked in front, and Torianen back out there. Torianen, long pass, stolen by Pacheco at center, dumped right back in. Eagles tag up. Manahan has it behind his net, leaves for Douglas, who will come out. Leaves the pass for Baxter. Baxter goes into the middle of the ice to Torianen, who takes a shot toward the net, sticked away by Kunin. Probably not a shot on goal there. Into the far corner, Glassrud has two men on him. Pacheco in to help out. A couple of number 10s fighting in there. And the number 10 of Baxter for St. Mike's takes the puck away. Looks for Torianen, now 6'7" Glassrud on Baxter. Takes the puck from, 6'7" Glassrud takes the puck from Baxter, and puck gets sent into the netting and would have been right to us had that net not been in front of our face.
Yeah, right now, again, St. Michael's does a very good job of getting through the neutral zone. Really good puck support, moving pucks. Everybody knows where everybody else is. So, again, that's something Post is going to have to shore up between periods, is get that neutral zone play a little bit better so they can just slow these guys down.
Bloom and Murray to the left of Kunin. 9:21 to go in the first period. No score here in Shelton this afternoon. Bloom with a little fancy back pass looking for Forselius, but taken away by Kimball. Kimball in the middle to Murray. They play catch. Couple of passes. Murray streaking down the slot, had it chopped off his stick. Goes back to O'Connell, who fumbles it, and out comes St. Mike's, but back to get it was Hope, as Forselius was looking for a 2-on-1 break, but Hope had it. Looks like an injured Eagle, and Connor Murray coming to the bench, able to get off on his own, see if he returns soon. Back comes Forselius over the line, goes into the middle, takes a shot toward the net. Nice job by Kunin to kick it out and kick it far enough away from the on-rushing forward. Back comes McMains, 1-on-3. He'll take a shot toward the net, blockered by Manahan, who will leave for his defense as everybody on the Eagles is changing behind McMains. He just put it on net to give everybody a chance to change, and here comes Evan Dresser. Dresser right up the middle, gets to the blue line, passes it, and it's deflected into the Eagle bench. Off the stick of Aiden Kennedy with 8:22 to go in the first period. Still no score.
Yeah, interesting, too, if you watch in the offensive zone right now, St. Michael's, when they have possession, is almost handling the puck a little too much, looking for that perfect play. There's been more than once where they've had a shooting lane, but they just haven't taken the shot.
Santoro lost the draw to McCarthy, and the puck sent into the Eagle zone. Kennedy leaves for Rieger, who takes a return pass, and out comes Aiden Kennedy with a long pass, dangerous, looking for the flying stick of William Hawkins. Hawkins chasing it down into the Knight zone. Good turnaround by A.J. Sacco, but they can't get it out. Here's Rieger closing in, looking for Santoro. Santoro takes it back, gives to Hawkins. Hawkins goes to the point, spins around, dumps it back in. Haas chasing after it as the Knights try to regroup with Wolanin behind the net. Wolanin sends it up the middle, past the stick of Sacco, and the Eagles come back as Kennedy gives it to McDevitt. McDevitt will rim it around. Manahan gets out there first. Manahan makes a bad pass, turns it over. McDevitt trying to pick up the puck, centering it back to McQuegan, but turned it over. Long pass ahead up on left wing to Nauman. Nauman, who probably had the best opportunity in the period on a deflection, sends it behind the net to Last. Last gets checked off by Glassford and turns it over to Winicki. Winicki goes back to the point to Alain. Alain closes it and had it chopped off his stick as he looked for a pass more than a shot. And then behind the net it goes to Last. Last comes out here on the near side, goes back to the point, gives it to Winicki. Winicki, a broken stick in the middle of the ice as well. I'm not sure whose that was. Eagles playing with 4 men at the moment, so it's probably an Eagle stick as off went, I think, McQuegan. Puck now down behind it. In front. 2 Knights there. 1 shot, 2 shot. Ben makes 2 saves. Puck comes free again to the point. Bad shot taken. McQuegan looks up the middle. McCall too far. That could be an icing, but McCall's going to win the race. McCall spins away. Looks to center it out in front. A lot just went on in that 10-second sequence. McCall tries to keep it in. Looking for the stick of Gazzardi. Alain reversing the flow for Racker. Racker gives to Winicki. Winicki sends a long pass up the middle. This may be icing, and it is. Coach, a couple of opportunities down here. Ben made a couple of good saves, plus a couple of good blocks by his defense in front to keep this no score early on.
Yeah, Ben read that play really well, and again, in the defensive zone, Post does a good job of collapsing into that house area, so it's very difficult to try to create much there. You really have to know what you're doing before you step into that puck.
6:11 to go in the first period. Face off to Manahan's left, won by Murray, who's back out on the ice. That's good to see. Kennedy to Kimball, took a shot, goes off a high stick, touched by St. Mike, so they play on. Puck sent all the way down the ice again, but this is going to be on Ben, who's going to have to make the save, so no icing. Kennedy with 5:55 to go in the first. Waits behind his net. Everybody changes, both offense and defense, and Rieger gets the center. Chipped in by Kimball. Manahan will reverse the flow all the way to the near side from the far. Stolen by the Eagles, and a little wrist shot taken from the edge of the circle by, I think that was McMains. Sometimes tough to tell the difference between 18, 16, and 19 from this angle.
Just look around the pole.
Yeah, plus I have a pole in my way now. Santoro to Manahan's right.
Being an old Hartford Whaler fan, you're used to the obstructed vision, though.
This is true. Winicki won the draw. Puck rimmed all the way around to Lecomte. Lecomte tries to get it out, kept in by Beckett. Eagles trying to pinch their way toward the front of the net. Haas chop checking it. Hope makes a big hit at center, and O'Connell will send it right back in. Douglas behind his own net, rimmed it around. Good play by Santoro. Now 5 players in that near side corner. But the Knights come away with the puck rimmed around to the far side. Lecomte goes high into the air, drops right on the Eagle blue line. Good play by Hope to send it back to center, and the puck goes high into the air again. Lecomte might be the first one after it. He gets there in the near side corner. 2 Eagles there fighting with him, Hope and O'Connell. Looking for help is Lecomte, and finally Ty Bloom gets in there as LeCompte did a good job just pinning it in that Zamboni corner, allowing Bloom to come off the bench and make a helping play. The puck still, though, in that corner. LeCompte gets hit hard by O'Connell. He falls down. Puck squirts free to Walsh. Walsh being checked by Hope. And then a hit from behind. No call there. That was a dangerous hit by Santoro. No penalty as LeCompte is frustrated, as is the St. Mike's bench. And a long pass up the middle looking for Norling went a little too far. Santoro had it roll off his stick, and here's Bloom. Bloom goes across the ice to Nichols. Nichols carries it in on right wing. He's in over the line to the defenseman out of Massachusetts. Gets pinned to the wall by Tanner Glassrud. Four players behind the net, 2 Eagles, 2 Knights. As Pacheco in there as well. Bloom still fighting for it in the corner. He spent most of this shift just fighting in corners. Has Ty Bloom. Eagles try to get it out, and they finally do. To center, where everybody will go off on a line change. Nichols for the Knights goes D to Alain. Alain had to roll off his stick at center, but got the pass ahead, and in over the line comes Walsh. Walsh goes across the ice with a shot taken by Forsilius off a leg, and in front again from about 40 feet out was Alain, who picked up the rebound looking for the near side post. Just missed as he had an angle at it, and it went wide. Puck out the center. Pekka chopping at it, sent into the zone by Racker, and the Eagles try to regroup and bring it out. Gazzardi gets to the red line, dumps it in. Pekka chasing after it, but a good job by McCarthy to get it up the wall, but kept in by Rieger with a long shot from right point that's blockered away by Manahan. Knights trying to get it out of their zone. Get it to center. Played to McCarthy. McCarthy with a little chip pass ahead to Sacco. A little too far. And into the Eagle zone it goes, where Kennedy will come over here for Macau. Macau with 3 minutes to go in the first period. No score. Tries to get it out. Gazzardi lost it. Gives to McCarthy for the Knights. McCarthy looking for Douglas. Rieger held the half wall. Gave it to Macau. And the Eagles trying to get out Macau. Toward the end of his shift, though, skating ahead 3-on-2. Over the line and offside. That's the tiredness, as both he and Rieger out there for a long time. And with 2:34 to go in the first, an offsides call. Still no score.
Yeah, both those lines caught out there for quite a while. It was kind of like watching a balloon deflate.
But a lot of work. And credit to Ty Bloom, who worked both in the near corner and then in the far corner. Spent most of that shift just fighting in 4-man scrums.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Eagles steal the puck inside the Knight zone. Over here for Kimball. Kimball turns and fires a shot. I think it got blocked in front by Wolanin. Puck on the near side wall. Macau gets a return pass in front of the backhand, stopped by Manahan that time, and the puck kicked out to center. Knights try to reverse the flow, bring it in. A tackle right inside the zone. St. Mike's doesn't play football, so tackling typically not allowed. O'Connell and Murray again struggling to get to the bench. That's the second time in this period he's had a struggle getting off the ice. And out comes Wolanin. Sorry, that's Alain. Over the line, pinned by Hope behind the net. Santoro there as well. So 2 defensemen, 2 forwards behind the net. Now in comes Pacheco to help out. So 5 players, 3 Eagles. Now 1 Knight, 3 Eagles. They change positions, and Eagles finally come out with it. Pacheco had chopped off the stick. Macau sends it to center. Too far for Haas. And the opposing number, Alain, the captain, behind his own net. Alain. Long pass goes off a leg and stolen by Santoro. Santoro goes across the Glassrud for a one-timer that he didn't get a lot of. A glove save by Manahan in front.
Yeah, not a lot of room out there for either team, really, once they get into the zone. Again, St. Mike's doing a really good job getting through that neutral zone, but once they're in the offensive zone, Post doing a pretty good job of clamping down and taking away grade A opportunities at this point.
Santoro and Bloom to Manahan's right. Won by Bloom, but the Eagles pick up the puck. It's Hawkins. 4-man scrum in the near side corner. Knights come away with it, give it away. That might have gone off the roof, and it did. Or should I say the ceiling, technically. As Forsilius shot it high into the air. And he should know better because these games were in Hamden last year, and that roof is even smaller than it is upstairs.
Right. But to be fair, if this was volleyball, that would be a playable.
Absolutely. Same two face off to the left of Manahan this time as opposed to the right. 63 seconds to go in period number 1. Don't forget to stay with us in the first intermission. We'll go around a very busy post-university sports scene. We'll get you updated on the soccer match up in New Hampshire between the 8-seed University of Bridgeport and the 9-seed Post-University. Puck out the center. Santoro lays another hit. Taken by Forselius. He spins away with it, sends it all the way to the other side of the ice, but Hawkins the only one there, so he'll chip it right back in. A couple Eagles go off on a line change, but Santoro's still down there. Pinching in is Rieger, turnover Santoro. Taken by Forselius. The Knights having trouble getting out of the zone here as we get close to the end of the period. Forselius chipped it ahead. Coming up the wall was Walsh. He turned it over, and the Eagles have a chance here with 30 seconds to go in the first. Here's Norling with some speed over the line. He crisscrosses, looking for a streaking Rieger, but the puck bounced off his stick. High in the air, McDevitt playing a sort of a defenseman role at the moment, sends it right back in as a couple Eagles make a line change. Manahan aggressive behind his own net, gets to it first. Leaves for Dresser with 9. St. Mike's just wants to get it out of the zone without turning it over. They've done that several times in the period. Now in front in a wrestling match between Norling and I don't know the Purple Knight, but a solid headlock and takedown by Norling to Manahan's right. And these two teams pushing and shoving, and we're only one period into a 6-period weekend.
Yeah, that's fairly bizarre because that had nothing to do with the play. It wasn't anywhere near the puck. Started as they swung behind the net, so not really sure what precipitated all that. We have to look back at the video.
We'll say this, Coach. They have been fighting collectively in every corner of this ice in the first period. This has been St. Mike's has had some interesting offensive opportunities, but in some ways this has been a very sluggish first period in the sense that it's been wall to wall to wall to wall.
Yeah, 100%.
So somebody may have pushed and shoved a little too much on a wall, and that's where we go now. So everybody talking.
Yeah, and that style probably favors Post more so than St. Mike's. St. Mike's likes to get off, like I said, like to attack off the rush, get in between the dots, and get pucks to the net. So keeping them along the walls is a good strategy for Post from a defensive aspect here.
2.2, sorry, Coach, 2.2 seconds to go in the first period.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, be curious to see, because I kind of saw the tail end of it, really, as it was in the middle of unfolding, I guess, to exactly what the officials saw and how they're going to call this.
So there was a headlock, and Norling took some player down, and then there was a pig pile on top of those two. And
yeah, exactly, yeah.
A lot of pushing and shoving after it, so now the officials look like they're going to talk to each other. Referee Testa speaking to both captains. All of this with 2.2 to go in the first period. No score here. So it'll be interesting to see where we end up. As both referees talking to Tanner Glassford, the Eagle captain, and Quinn McCarthy, the assistant captain for the Knights. He's a 5'10 senior out of Melrose, Massachusetts. So they've spoken. Tanner's spoken to. Looks like the Eagles are going to be shorthanded. Norling's penalty on the board with 2.2 to go. Sort of a logistical question, Coach, being that you've been down on the bench. What's the purpose of having the long conversation with the captains if both referees are going to go talk to the coaches?
It's really a tradition or a courtesy thing. Okay. Because ideally the official does not have to go and talk to the coaches because he shared that information with the captains. So he could just turn his back right now and say, talk to your captains.
Okay.
But good rapport, good relationship, good idea for them to do just that. To teach the captains, right, a little bit, it does, and then kind of calms the coaches as well.
Sometimes it's the little things we like to bring to attention here during the games because that's something, you watch a pro game sometimes, they talk to the captain and the coach yells and they go yell at the coach. And it's like, why are you doing these things? But Bloom, Eagles are going to be shorthanded ultimately. Norling's 2 minutes are on the board. Santoro and Bloom off the draw. Santoro wins it. That'll end the period. And then a late hit from behind. on Kennedy as Bloom hit Kennedy from behind. So Bloom's going to wipe out the power play after 2 seconds as the period ends. Kennedy seems no worse for wear. Now it's just a question of they give him 2 or more. And you can hear the referee telling him there was 2 seconds on the clock. What are you doing?
It looks like 2 minutes.
So 2 seconds of power play time, and I didn't even get a chance to read off the power play numbers. So we might just skip that till the next period. Bloom gets 2 minutes for boarding at 20 minutes. And that's the end of a interesting first period. Again, 2 different styles, but this entire period was corner to corner to behind the net, wrestling matches, and then a late stupid boarding penalty by Ty Bloom.
Yeah, and that's something I'm sure coach is going to address, because you've got the opportunity. Even if you finish that check in the corner, the clock is over. There's no way to create anything off that. So just let the thing run out.
That's what the ref kept saying.
Yes.
It was 2 seconds. It was
Exactly.
2 seconds. Like, what are you doing?
Get yourself a minute and 58 worth of power play. Now you just threw that away in a very close game where your skill and your puck movement is typically very good, but you just took that away from yourself.
So that's where we stand after 1 period of play here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. No score. Stay with us in the first intermission. We'll go around the post-university sports scene, and Coach will come back with all of his exciting analytical abilities of that slog of a first period. We'll be back in 2 minutes. You're listening and watching the Post-University Hockey and the Post-University Sports Network. First period intermission here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. No score between St. Mike's and your Post-University Eagles. An interesting end to the first period, but we'll get into that more during the coach portion of our intermission. We do Every first intermission, we go around the Post University sports team, and that's brought to you by Post University. And it's 17 NCAA Division II athletic programs from its nationally ranked men's soccer team who have made the NCAA Sweet 16 3 years in a row, and they're going to try for 4. We'll get to that momentarily. Or the brand new women's flag football team slated to start in 2026. Post offers a variety of sports in every season you can enjoy, whether a student, a parent, or a fan. For more information on Post University athletics, news, scores, and upcoming schedules for all your favorite teams, please go to posteagles.com. That's posteagles.com. Eagle fans, it's the holiday season once again, so ask yourself, is there a better way to start to gift that special someone or update that outdated closet than with Post University apparel from the Eagle Team Store? How about your dorm room, home office, apartment, or home? Is it missing that special touch that only an Eagle blanket, Eagle mouse pad, or Eagle desk mat can provide? If you answered yes to any of these questions, it sounds like you need to race to posteagles.com, click on the Fans tab, and choose School Store on the left-hand side and shop for all the latest Eagle swag and apparel. Shop today and use the code GIFTS15 to receive 15% off any order of $75 or more. Exclusions do apply. That's code GIFTS, GIFTS15. It'll expire on Monday, November 24th. You can also visit the campus store and the Lever Student Center on campus. They're open Monday through Thursday, though not likely this Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Oh, let's start with the soccer, which is obviously the big moment, the big thing, going on campus, not on campus, going on right now. Up in Manchester, New Hampshire. Updated score is midway through the second half. It is still 1-1 between the 8 seed Post University and the University of Bridgeport, the 9 seed. 65 minutes gone in that one. 1-1 between Bridgeport, who beat Post 4-3 for the CACC championship in the tournament last weekend, and the University of Bridgeport. Winner of that game will take on Southern New Hampshire, who is the 1 seed in the East region. That game will take place Sunday at 3 o'clock up in Manchester. So if the Eagles can win and get by Bridgeport, they will play Southern New Hampshire on Sunday. Women's hockey playing at Stonehill right now, up at Stonehill, 2-2 in the third period for the women's hockey team. 14 minutes to go in the third period, mind you. 2-2 the score. That's how they entered the third period. It was 1-0 Stonehill. It was 5-6 on the season. After one, the Eagles scored 2 in the second and 1 for Stonehill. That makes the score 2-2. Up at Stonehill. These two teams will play again tomorrow up at Stonehill. Eagles don't have, the Lady Eagle hockey team does not return home until December 5th, I believe. That's correct. December 5th, when they'll host Long Island University here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. The Eagles only have one more home game until the Christmas break. They have another game at Stonehill, one at Sacred Heart, then LIU and a home and home, and then they're off for the winter break. Currently 4-10-1 on the season. 4-4-1, though, in conference. They currently sit 5th in the NEWHA. 2-2 there. We'll see if we can get you an update as the afternoon goes on and before that game goes final. Football side, as season did end with a 4-6 record, which was double the wins that the program has ever had in their history. 7 different players made it to all conference teams, led by freshman Israel Geraldo, who was first team offense as a wide receiver and first team kick returner. He did not win Rookie of the Year, however. That was Luke Warnock from Bentley. Second team offense was Colby Lorson Rice, the offensive lineman, and place kicker Nathan Hawkins. They both made second team offense. Second team defense, Michael Gabetti and Amir Johnson, and punter Hayden Hall. For the Eagles, Jazira Orleus, Nathan Hawkins, and Israel Geraldo make the all-rookie team as well. So Eagles with big strides on the football side this year, going from 1 win all the way up to 4. Finished the season 4-6, have 7 players make all-conference teams. Move in the right direction for a program moving in the right direction. I look forward to seeing what will happen next year with the Eagle football team. Women's volleyball will play for the CACC Championship tomorrow at noon against Holy Family. Coming off a 3-1 victory in the first round against Dominican and a 3-0 win against Jefferson on Tuesday in the CACC tournament. The women's volleyball program 25-4 overall, 13-1 at home, 13-1 in conference, 10-3 away from the Drubner Center. Almost assuredly should get an at-large bid if for some reason they don't win against Holy Family, but the volleyball program's done a great job this season, setting numerous program records, going 25-4 on the season. Basketball teams are both off this weekend, both the women and the men. Get you a little bit more of an update tomorrow. Close out the look around the Post University sports scene. 11 minutes to go in the third period, 2-2 between Post and Stone Hill. And on the soccer side, still 2-1 in the 70th minute now, up at Southern New Hampshire. We'll keep you updated as we go along. We'll be back in 2 minutes. You're listening and watching to Post University Hockey on the Post University Sports Network. First period intermission here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. No score between St. Mike's and your Post University Eagles in game one of a two-game weekend. Set update from soccer up in Manchester. Bridgeport just scored on a header. 2-1 Bridgeport with about 18 minutes to go up in soccer at Southern New Hampshire. Coach, an interesting period to say the least. It was almost like a wrestling match more than a hockey game. The Eagles didn't have any great offensive opportunities, some shots. They outshot them 14-8, but I can't remember a really great opportunity. St. Mike's had 8 shots on goal, a couple better opportunities that Ben had to make some saves on. Face-offs were 10-10. And then the chippiness at the end of the period, just to wrap up the penalties, Norling 4 for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. And then for St. Mike's, Dresser 2 for roughing. That led to the power play of 2 seconds that Bloom negated with a 2-minute boarding penalty at 20 minutes.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of space out there really right now for either team. Like I was saying during the first period, the Knights are doing a good job of getting through that neutral zone and again attacking off the rush. And really the last thing they want to do is get involved in a game where it's kind of getting mucked up a little bit. And there's clutching and grabbing, and like we saw at the end there, again, two plays, if you will, within a couple of minutes of each other where there was going to be a 4-minute penalty, but then another guy jumped in. And I understand about sticking up for your teammate, but I'm sure that teammate at this point would be just as happy for his team to be on a 4-minute power play. So that got negated there, and then at the end with 2.2 seconds left, once that puck goes to the corner, I mean, the period's over. You're never going to recover that puck and get it back to the front of the net, do anything. So just let the time run out and take advantage of that minute 58 power play that you would have had.
And Kennedy did a nice job of selling that penalty as well. But so good job by him. We jokingly will say this, however, is that the post PK, which was number 1 in the NE10, they went 1 for 1 on the PK in that 2.2 seconds and have raised their league leading percentage to 15 for 16 on the season. Not going to do much for their power play, which is 4 for 20, and although they have a minute 58 to figure out, a whole lot of things can happen in the minute 58, but the 2-second St. Mike's power play is over.
And this will be interesting too, Jeff, to see, because again, being a puck possession team, like who will this benefit? Will this benefit St. Mike's, or will it benefit Post with their quick ups, pucks to the corner, battle, get it off, try to get it off the wall quick? So again, 2 different styles, as you mentioned. So this will be kind of interesting to see who this 4-on-4 actually does favor.
Up at Stonehill, 6 minutes to go in the third, still 2-2 in NEWHA action. Teams will take the ice 4-on-4. Eagles in the whites will go left to right as you look at your screen and dial. St. Mike's in the purple going right to left as you look at your screen and dial. Second period about to get underway. 4-on-4. Santoro wins the faceoff from last. And the Eagles will start with puck possession. Here's Santoro. Up over the line, tries to make a move. He did. He tipped it on net. Manahan. Rebound shot stopped by Manahan. 3 bangs at it. 4 bangs at it. As Haas had 1, Kennedy had 2. But Santoro made a phenomenal move between the St. Mike's defense. And those are the best shots the Eagles have had all game.
Yeah, right off the bat, Post caught St. Mike's sleeping and almost took full advantage of it.
Nicely done by Joe Santoro using that speed. A little reminiscent of Max Shabanoff for the Islanders last night in his goal late in the third period. He just split 2 defensemen and went backhand, which is exactly what Santoro did. And the Eagles banged at it 4 more times. Santoro tries to go forward off the faceoff carefully as down goes Alain. I think he tried to sell that a little too much. Santoro on the backhand off a centering pass. Alain chipped it out to center, and out come the Knights 2-on-2. Cross-ice pass goes behind McCarthy, and back come the Eagles the other way. It's Rieger. Rieger to Santoro. Goes across the ice for Haas. Haas stops. Bottom of the circle. In front looking for the stick of Santoro. He had it, but shot it too close to Manahan, and he made the save. Rieger sends it toward the net. Nobody there, though. It goes behind the net. Alain will try to get away with it. Stolen. Santoro shot right on. Eagles bring it out of the zone. Santoro, a house of fire in the first minute of the second period as we play 4-on-4. Eagles easily 6 shots in this first minute. Then a long shot taken by Haas, deflected and behind the net. And again, the ice opened up a little bit more, and Santoro, with his speed in particular, taking advantage. Eagles with credited with 5 shots already in the first minute 5.
Yeah, Joe generally does a really good job of possessing that puck and looking to make a play with it, you know, using his years of experience here. So that was a really good shift, really good way to start the period for Post.
Eagles taking advantage. Again, their best shots of the game so far. Didn't have great opportunities in the first. Lots of shots, which helps Manahan's save percentage, to be honest with you, but nothing really phenomenal or high danger, as they like to say. They've easily had 2 or 3 in the second period alone. Now here comes St. Mike's in over the line. Chopped away nicely, though, by Glassroot as he chops Sacco's stick. Puck goes behind the net to Pacheco. He gets it out the center, and back come the Eagles the other way. Here's Connor Murray. Good to see him back in as he left a couple of times looking injured. Stolen by Kimball, looking for Murray. Murray will be able to get it and send it in around the boards past Manahan. Other side is Kimball. Kimball tried to take the puck, lost it, and out come the Knights with 10 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Then the Eagles will have an exciting 2-second power play. Here comes Forsilius over the line, spins away, tried to center it all the way through, only found Alain. Puck goes behind the net, 2 Eagles there. There's a 2-second power play, and we're back to 5-on-5. Both teams 0 for 1 on the man advantage, 2.2 seconds of power play time for each. Pacheco chips it up the center, and the puck turned over again. Be interesting to see if we go back to the slog now that we're 5-on-5. Here's Winicki. Top of the far circle, brings it in down low with a shot toward the net, deflected right on. Ben with 2 big saves, including a right pad save on Patrick Last, and the puck sent all the way down the ice for an icing.
Yeah, and that actually was St. Mike's first shot on goal of this period. So Post did a really good job with possessing the puck in that 4-on-4, creating offensive opportunities, and now the plan is let's build off that.
Connor McCall tried to sneak on the ice after the icing, and a lot of people caught him. So no go there, and a face-off to Ben's left. Won by the Eagles. Pekka won that one behind the net to Glassrud. Glassrud chipped it up the wall to Gazzardi. Gazzardi tried to get it out. The scrum continues, and the puck goes out to center. Dresser. Looking ahead for Toriainen. Rolled off his stick onto Kunin, who takes a ice shower. And the faceoff will be deep inside the Eagle zone. 2:49 in the period, number 2.
Yeah, St. Michael's still not really sharp on their passes. We saw in that 4-on-4 a wide open player pass behind them. Right there, we fumbled the puck a little bit, so they're going to have to try to complete those passes and bear down and focus a little bit more if they want to use that offensive capability that they have.
Lely tossed from the draw, so Toriainen will take it for St. Mike's. McDevitt ultimately wins it. He goes behind his net, being checked by Lely. Makes a nice spin-rama move away into the near side corner. McQuegan tries to chip it out. Doesn't do it as it's kept in by Baxter. Baxter, though, had to go off a leg and out the center. McQuegan being aggressive on the forecheck at center, trying to get the puck away. Eagles do get it as Hope plays it at center, turned it over. McDevitt with a big hit. Almost interference. Have to be careful. And here comes McQuegan with a long shot blockered into the far side netting. And into the crowd by Manahan. Good hustle by McQuegan. Eagles do have to be a little careful, though, on their hits. Update at Stonehill. Eagles 3, Stonehill 2 on a power play goal late in the third period by Matty Noonan. So the Lady Eagles have a 3-2 lead with 4 minutes to go in the third period out at Stonehill.
Yeah, it sounds like an exciting game.
Still 2-1 Bridgeport in soccer up at Southern New Hampshire. Santoro on the draw, wins it clean to Sacco, though a little too clean as it goes out the center past O'Connell. He'll have to race after it as Sacco chased him. O'Connell spins it around the Haas. Haas looking for Beckett. Found Santoro instead. He tried to send it across the ice. It goes off a leg, and then a big hit in front of the benches on Beckett. He seems to be okay. That rattled the glass in front of the scorer's table. And out comes Nichols. Nichols, long pass ahead. Finds Sacco, who gets checked in the corner. Puck squirts out in front to Santoro, who gets it out the center to Beckett. Beckett dumps it in on the cross-ice dump. Nichols there first. Santoro watches him, but a nice job to go behind his net and give it to Dresser. And the Knights will regroup. Eagles make some line changes as here comes Evan Dresser. Dresser, long past the center, chipped in by Forsilius. Nobody there, and St. Mike's goes off on a line change, so Kennedy will turn quickly with a long pass up the middle. It's going to be a Murray stick, though. Murray in front, and a stop by Manahan. Oh, it was deflected by St. Mike's, and Murray had a breakaway from the blue line in. Then an official and an Eagle go down. Over the line, back the other way comes McCarthy, who sends it in front with a shot. Stopped right on as Lecomte took a shot from 15 feet out. Now we're having then hockey. Behind the net to Douglas. Douglas, long shot, goes wide all the way around the boards. Dresser on the right point, takes a shot toward the net, deflects a couple of times. Good job by Rieger to get it out to center. Murray, with ultimately the best chance of the game, had a breakaway from the blue line in. The Eagles tried a long pass. It deflected off the leg of a St. Michael's forward, and Murray struck in all alone down the middle of the ice. But Manahan, with that blocker on the right side, made a big save with 5:03 gone in the first, an icing, and a face-off inside the Eagle zone.
Yeah, they tried a stretch pass there, but they weren't able to get a stick on it.
Face-off to the left of Kunin. Murray, who had the breakaway, been bit injured twice, came back both times, and then had a breakaway. Puck inside the Eagle zone. Kennedy fighting for it, trying to poke it away, but it ends up in front, and Kunin makes a big-time save on a puck that somehow ended up on the stick of Patrick Last 10 feet out. But Kunin got the right pad on it. Winicki goes through the Eagle defense, comes in on a backhand. Kunin makes a big save, dives on it. The puck is still loose at the side of the net. Kunin trying to get back in goal. He manages to, and the puck goes behind the net. And Rieger finally has it. He'll soft dump it all the way down the ice, but I think he got too much of it. And that will be an icing with 5:42 to go in period 2. Ben making a couple of big saves, including one on Patrick Last, the sophomore out of Derry, New Hampshire, who found the puck 10 feet out all alone. And Kunin got the left pad on it to make a big save. Eight minutes to go in regulation time up at Southern New Hampshire. Still 2-1 Bridgeport in the first round of the NCAA Division II men's soccer tournament. Murray and Lely on the draw. Lely kicked out again. That's the second straight time he's been kicked out. So Baxter will have Lely back in. That was weird. Won the draw, and then a tip in front by Lely off a shot from the point taken by Willamon. Nice save by Kunin there. Action has definitively picked up here in the second period. Puck sent behind the net. Rieger tries to get it up to Kimball, and the Eagles finally come out with it. Here's McMains. McMains' long shot right into the body of Willamon, who sends it back to center, and then the Eagles will send it back in as everybody has to go for a line change because they were out a long time for the icing. Chipped up the middle, and a nice little chip pass ahead and over the line to Toriainen, who took a shot that went wide. Puck rimmed out and back to center, and the Knights will start again with Dresser. Dresser sends it in. Knights finish the line change. McCall gave to Glasser, who turned it over to a puck in front, and fanned on his shot was 11 Walsh. And here come the Eagles the other way, Mateo Pekka. Nice pass in over the line, looking for a streaking Pacheco. Had it roll off a stick, now 3-on-2 the other way. Here's Walsh in the middle, sends it over for Forsilius. After a pass from Sacco, he takes a shot that goes wide. Kept in by Dresser, who pinched it into the corner. Eagles trying to come out with it, and a pass to center. Nice play there, taken away by Gazzardi, who gives up to Santoro. Santoro avoids one hit, avoids two hits, goes across the ice to O'Connell, takes a shot low and wide, bounces all the way around to Santoro playing on left point. He tried to shoot it back in, deflected off a stick out to Sacco, and Dresser will come to center and dump it in. Numerous line changes as Glassroot will play it behind his own net. 7.5 minutes gone in the second period. Still no score here. That first goal is going to be big here today. Santoro, a little bit behind O'Connell, turned it over, but Santoro did a good job to get it back. Puck deep inside the Eagle zone. Shot taken from the top of the far circle. Goes wide, and here come the Eagles out the other way, but a good back check by Marshall Thomas forces another turnover. Glassroot lost it to Thomas, walked in with a shot. Not sure if Kunin got it or got blocked in front. Kicked into the near side corner where, again, the fighting continues. Glassroot and O'Connell fighting two Knights in the corner. Puck comes free back to the point to Alan. He kept it in. Long shot from the point, blocked in front. Spinning with it is Lecomte. Lecomte goes down looking for a call, doesn't get one. Pinned to the wall is Last by Glassroot. Now 5 players, 3 Eagles. No, one backed out. O'Connell backed off. So now 4 players fighting for it in that corner. Now 5 as 2 Knights, another Knight goes in there. Now another Eagle. So now a 6-man rugby scrum in the near side corner, and finally comes free to Nichols. Nichols rims it right back around. Looking for a pass in front. He finds it on the backhand, but a right pad save by Kunin. Not sure if that was going to go wide or not. O'Connell now fighting. Glassroot now another scrum in the corner. We've gone back to the rugby scrum. Puck squirts free in front. Long shot from the point, deflected in front. Didn't get to Kunin as it was blocked. Eagles desperately have to get this puck out just to get a line change. Haas across the ice to Santoro, who always seems to have legs, but even he's tired and chips it in, and the full Eagle 5 go off on a line change. Long pass by Willannon goes off the stick, and Kennedy inside his own zone spins with it. 10 fresh players out there now, and here's McQuegan up on left wing. McQuegan over the line, looking in front for Hawkins. He found Hawkins. Hawkins gives it back to McQuegan. Comes in front, and a big left pad save by Manahan. The net came off its moorings, but McQuegan and Hawkins, a little 2-man game deep in the corner. McQuegan came out with a backhand, 9-12 into the second period.
Yeah, that was a good strong move by Hugh to come off the wall with that, protect that puck, and try to will it to the net.
Face off to Manahan's left, won by McDevitt. Eagles pinch it into the corner. McDevitt spins with it, makes a couple of fancy stick moves, but had to roll off his stick finally as Nauman fed it ahead to Baxter. Baxter gets to the blue line, but he's offsides, and he takes a hit from McQuiggan in the process. Face-off will be just outside the Eagle line with 9:24 gone in the second period. Still no score. Final up at Stonehill. The Eagles defeat Stonehill 3-2. They go to 5-10-1 on the season, 5-4 in the NEWHA with that win.
Yeah, Coach Brown and staff just doing a great job up there. There's no question.
We pushed for him to get that job last year and got it this year, and doing what he needs to do so far. The youngest coach in Division I, by the way, in Division I women's hockey. Might be the youngest coach in hockey right now at the collegiate level. That I don't know, but I know it's in women's hockey for sure. Behind the net, McMains has it. McMains being checked off by Racker. Now again, another scrum behind the net. Down goes McMains. Nice steal, though, in front. Kimball, one bang, two bangs. Doesn't get it anywhere near Kunin. Is a good job done by the Knight defense after turning it over. A broken stick as well. And out comes Racker and dumps it in as $300 lost on a stick behind the net.
And we know it's past the 30 days.
Is that the return time?
That's return time, but these guys get supplied sticks. So
there we go. Here's Kennedy at center, 3-on-2 over the line looking for Pekka. Fed it behind him, chopped out back to center. McMains does a good job to keep it from going down. The Eagles have a four-man wave back in the other side. Here's McCall, the shot toward the net, right pad save by Manahan, who makes maybe his biggest save of the game. As a nice shot there by McMains on a four-man rush by the Eagles.
Yeah, and that was just two St. Mike's players jumped, thinking they had clear possession, and when that turned, they got caught.
Knights inside the Eagle zone looking for an opportunity. Walsh tried to go back to the point, instead ridden it around. McCall does a good job to keep it from going the far side, back to the near side. Big check right on the half wall, and the Eagles will dump it all the way down and take that icing. With 8:57 to go in the second period, 8:56 to go in the second period. Still no score. But the Eagles have gotten the better of the opportunities here in the second period.
Yeah, they have. There's no question that, and really it's funny how that kind of all played out because it started with that 4-on-4.
And it seems almost like St. Michael's has gone to a point where they want the slog. It's almost like they've changed strategies in this game.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of reversed. In some ways, this right now looks like the second game of the weekend.
Puck kept in momentarily and then sent back in to the Eagle zone where it's rimmed around from near to far. Pekka, though, overskates it now, tries to get back to it, pops it up in the air. Racing after it is Kimball. Excuse me, that was Gazzardi. Didn't get to it, lost the puck. Douglas forced it ahead. Looking for a backhand pass was McCarthy. He turned it over, and a nice play there by Beckett. Beckett feeds to Haas. Haas comes in on left wing, gets through the first check, picks it up behind the net, goes back to the point. Pacheco waits, fires toward the net. Had a bit of a screen, did the Eagles, with Santoro in front, but Manahan found a lane with 8:13 to go in the second. He made a save on that shot by Pacheco after good work by TJ Haas, the sophomore out of Heartland, Wisconsin.
Yeah, there was really a great save there by Manahan, looking, focusing, and seeing through the layers and locating that puck.
Santoro, who's been everywhere here in the second period, will take the face-off against Patrick Last to the left of Cole Manahan. Won by Santoro. Puck popped up in the air right at the top of the slot. Nice job there by the Eagles to keep it in. That was Beckett. Now Pacheco at the blue line. Shot deflected by Haas right on. Stopped by Manahan. Rebound shot taken from a bad angle by the Eagles, and another save by Manahan. Beckett came in, didn't have much of an angle, but tried to deflect it off of Manahan, who got back into the net area. Now the puck all the way deep into the Eagle zone. Haas picked it up, skates away, looks for Glassroot, a little too far. He'll use that 6'7" frame though to get the puck, reverse the flow, then centered it out in front by accident. Puck goes off of Kunin and wide after a turnover by Tanner Glassroot and a wise icing by the Eagles, as Glassroot was having problems with that puck behind the net. He kept reaching for it, finally got it, then turned it over. And the best opportunity for the Knights in the second period, stopped by Kunin, and then an icing with 7:27 to go in the second period.
Yeah, that was a close play. There really two kind of stick handling miscues, right? Manahan made the first save on that puck, got away from him, couldn't quite reach it because he wanted to freeze that puck, but he couldn't pull that in, couldn't quite get there. So he recovered really nicely, making the second save as well.
Credit to Manahan, 6'4" out of Hermantown, Minnesota. He's played well. He leads the NE10 in save percentage right now, over .950, obviously early in the season. Knights have it inside the Eagle zone. Centering pass in front, gloved by Kunin, probably higher than Wolanin would have liked as he had Baxter in front. Easier save for Kunin than if that was low. With 7:12 to go in the second.
Yeah, from those tough angles, that kind of low far pad, pass off pad play is always a good play to make, but not always the easiest play to make either.
Puck won by the Knights, rimmed it around the boards. Played by Baxter. Baxter sends it back behind the net. Rieger there first, looks for McQuegan, who's got some time and space to carry it out of his own zone. McQuegan gets to the red line, gets to the blue, dumps it in. McDevitt will go chasing after it. McDevitt finishes his check. As the Knights get it, dump it down the ice. It's maybe icing. It's going to slow down, and they're going to call an icing. Good job by Rieger to turn off the gas. Let that one get to the end line, and that'll put a face-off inside the Eagle zone with 6:46 to go in the second.
Yeah, it was too, and it's probably a puck St. Mike's would like back because they had time to skate that a little bit and maybe not just throw that puck like they did.
Face-off to the right of Manahan, one clean by the Eagles. Rieger closing down, takes a shot, stopped off the shoulder. Rieger in front! And they're going to say a hand pass, although I don't know who touched it to make it a hand pass. Hawkins looks confused, so do the rest of the Eagles. As Rieger closed in down left wing, took a shot that Manahan couldn't control. Ultimately a face-off outside the Knight zone between Murray and Sacco. Won by Sacco, played out the center. Good job to keep the wall there by Kennedy, and he fits McMains. McMains over the line with a shot. Manahan going the other way, but managed to get a pad on it as it rolled wide off his right pad. Back comes St. Mike's the other way, over the line for Forsilius. Looks to center it off a leg. It then squeezes out into the slot area, and Rieger gets it out the center, then gloves it up in the air, and baseball hits it into the zone. Good job there. As he sort of high-licensed it inside the Eagle in the Knight zone. Pekka gets it back to the point to Macau. Macau closing in, had McMains, had it roll off his stick. A different run PMC version out there now. McMains, Macau, and Pekka. Hope takes a return pass from Macau, and the Eagles will start again with some time and space to bring it out of the zone. Hope, long pass off Pekka's stick into the Knight zone. They'll chase after it behind the net, rimmed around by Racker, trying to get it out to center. The Knights do it. And then a turnover at center ice gives the puck to McCarthy. McCarthy, fancy move at center, tries to go around the Eagle defense, but a nice job by Hope to pick up the slack and then dump it into the netting and out of play. Knights seem a little bit more on their heels here in the second period, but no score yet as Manahan has been phenomenal in goal so far.
Yeah, they've had the post has had the better of the scoring opportunities so far. So we'll see what St. Mike's can come up with here. So again, tie game, a lot of game left.
A lot of game left. Second period of a 2-game weekend set. Second period of at least 6 that they'll play here over the next 2 days. Puck behind the net, fought for by McCarthy. He spins it back to the point to Racker. Racker dumps it back into the far side corner. Lecomte turned it over. Santoro there. He's trying to go up the wall slowly with it. Turned it over to Lecomte. Back to Alan at the point. Spinorama pass goes into the near corner and then behind the net and cycled all the way back behind the net. In front on the centering pass. Big hit in front led to a turnover as McCarthy turned it over. Racker takes a hit. And now the puck behind the net for O'Connell as St. Mike's goes off on a line change. 4:45 to go in the second period. No score. Santoro gets to Beckett. He'll dump it in on a chip. Haas goes in after it, pins Nichols to the wall. Eagles go in for the forecheck. Nice job by McDevitt to use that size. Pops away, though, and just enough to get it out the center. Then a bad pass by Winicki sends it back into the Knight zone. And they'll restart again with Wolanin. Wolanin spins away from McQuegan. Wolanin spins away again. Long pass up the middle. Found his man, and then a nice behind-the-back pass to Nauman. Nauman over the line, makes a fancy move, gets around the fence and takes a shot that goes right on. Stopped by Kunin. There's some of the speed St. Mike's has been looking for in this game. Winicki fighting for it in the corner with Nauman. Eagles try to chip it away, get it behind the net, reverses the flow nicely, and here's Norling back after his 14 minutes of penalties, back on the ice for the first time. McQuegan off the half wall, had a fumble off the stick, a turnaround slap shot that goes off of Glassrud after the turnover. Eagles will try to get it out again, this time Glassrud on the far side. Glassrud up the middle, turned it over again, but outside the zone, and Douglas will send it right back in as he and Glassrud play some catch. Glassrud with a dangerous little chip pass up the middle, but McDevitt there to help out, and the puck goes all the way back into the Eagles zone, to the Knight zone, excuse me. Douglas with 3 minutes, long pass up the middle, chipped in the zone by Torianen. The rugby scrum again in the far side corner. 5 players, 3 Eagles, 2 Knights, now 6, 3 and 3. Fighting for it as down goes Lely. Knights come out the other side with it, and Alain and a big collision right at the bottom of the near circle between McMains and Torianen. Doesn't lead to any kind of shot opportunity as the team's fighting for it on the wall again. Glassrud behind the net, gets checked, pinned to the wall. Turnover to Forsilius. But back on the wall comes Forsilius. He comes around to the far side, in front to the near. Ashton Alain takes a shot. And a stick check there by, I think that was McMains. In front again is Alain with a long shot. Toward the point, deflected right on. Stopped by Kunin. As somebody got a stick on it in the middle. Now McMains looking for a pass up the middle. He makes a big hit, and Murray picks it up. Murray over the line on right wing with a shot off the chest of Manahan, who had good position. Murray behind the net, tried to center it out in front to McMains. Puck squirts free, stolen away, and out comes Racker. Racker on a 3-man rush. He's got Forsilius with him. Long shot taken on right wing by Colin Walsh. Swallowed by Kunin with 2:02 to go in the second period. End-to-end action here. Both goaltenders tall to the task. Final score up at Southern New Hampshire. The Eagles will not make the Sweet 16 for the 4th straight year. They lose 2-1 in men's soccer. So another excellent season, but one thing to note is the Eagles' 3 losses all came within the last 5 games in soccer. After I believe it was a 15-game undefeated streak. Might have been 14. Pekka wins the draw, but it just lays there at the bottom of the circle. Knights managed to get control of it. Rimmed around by Sacco looking for Walsh. Walsh goes down. Kennedy there. And they're back to the scrum behind the net. 5 players back there. Walsh goes down. Eagles come away with it, and here's Gazzardi. Gazzardi gets to the blue line with some speed on right wing, takes a shot toward the net right on. Eagles need a rebound. They got one, but Rieger shot it high and wide on a backhand. Didn't have a great angle. And now a pass up the middle for a streaking Sacco. Over the line with a shot, blocked away by Kunin. And back come the Eagles. McCall chipped it up to center. Nice job with the glove by Dresser to take it away. And then almost skated right into Gazzardi, and then he backhanded it into the bench with 1:11 to go. In the second period, still no score.
Yeah, it's an interesting period, right? There's not a ton of pace, but every so often each team has had these little bursts with some pretty good scoring opportunities.
And each team's had a couple of bad turnovers as well, which has helped.
Yes.
But both Manahan and Kunin have been great in the goals. One shot from the faceoff win by Santoro, taken by Hope, deflected into the far side crowd. It's almost going to be like somebody's going to have to get a rebound off of one of these shots off the goalies at this point, the way both of them are playing. Santoro technically won the draw, but he won it to Lecomte, so Lecomte will take it out of the zone, get it to center, and then send it into the St. Mike's bench. Other thing, coaches, other than that scrum with 2 seconds to go and the 2 seconds afterwards, no penalties.
Well, I'm sure both coaches talk to their players about the importance of playing 5-on-5 because both these teams again, like many teams, you're just better 5-on-5 because you can create pace, you can create tempo, and you can get offensive opportunities.
Dresser sends it in. Hope goes behind the net to get it before LeCompte can. He'll rim it around the near side wall out to center, where it's played back into O'Connell. LeCompte chasing him, goes D to D to Hope. Hope goes up the middle looking for Hawkins. It goes off his stick. Santoro chases after it. Little chip play up on the wall. St. Mike's gets a little confused, but they bring it in over the line, looking for a centering pass in front. Got the deflection, and Marshall Thomas did, but didn't get a lot on it. That led Ben to be able to make the save. Puck sent back into the zone. O'Connell with a nice backhand pass to Haas, looking for Hawkins a little too far. Knights D looks a little tired, haven't been able to get a change because it's the far side change, and dangerously playing with it at the top of their zone. Almost turned it over to Santoro. Then a long shot. Ben got a stick on it as it goes behind the net with 12 seconds to go in the second period. Centering pass kept in at the point. Looking for a shot is Drescher. Looking for a deflection. They got one into Ben, and then with 5.5 to go, a little pushing and shoving as somebody went flying over Kunin. Still no score. Late in the second period. Don't forget to stay with us in the second period intermission. We will go around the NE10. And, Coach, you'll have a little bit of additional analysis to do. Make you work today.
I'm more than happy to. More than happy to share.
With 5.5 seconds to go in the second period, we still have no score here. Burry will come out to take the face-off. Looks like he'll take it against, it's going to be Patrick Last. To the left of Ben Kunin. Similar position at the end of the first period led to a boarding penalty. Face-off one back to the point. Douglas takes a long shot that goes into the corner. Let's see if they learned. The Knights learned. They didn't hit Kennedy that time, who was in the corner on the far side, and that'll end period number 2. We said at the end of the first, the Eagles didn't have a lot of great shots, but they had a lot of shots, and St. Mike's had the better of the opportunity in period 1. Kind of flipped the script in the second period. The Eagles had a lot more of the better opportunities. St. Mike's had a decent amount of attempts at the net as well, but we're still no score in a big game for the Eagles here this weekend.
Yeah, this seems like this is the kind of game that just could come down to a fumbled puck, a rebound that somebody just can't corral. But, you know, it's cliche, right? But obviously now more than any game that we broadcast this year, third period is the period you got to win. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
And it sets up the weekend as well. So the Eagles know they have 15 minutes to rest, and then the big 20 minutes upcoming here to get themselves on the board in the NE10 conference. So that'll be 2 full periods here at the Sports Center of Connecticut with the score, St. Mike's nothing, Post nothing. We'll be back in 2 minutes with your look around the NE10. You're listening and watching the Post University Hockey on the Post University Sports Network. Second period intermission here at the Sports Center of Connecticut, where the Eagles and Knights, Purple Knights that is, tied at 0 here in game one of a 2-game weekend set. Jeff Nelson here with you in the second period intermission, and our second period intermission brought to you by Post University, ranked as one of the top online colleges for 2025 by Newsweek. So ask yourself, are you a Post person? What are you waiting for? Reach out to Post University today to see what they can offer you. Online, hybrid, or on-campus degree program options await. For more information on all of Post degree programs, to visit campus, to take a tour, or apply, go to post.edu. That's post.edu. Do it today. Eagle fans, it's the holiday season once again, so ask yourself, is there a better way to start to gift that special someone or update that outdated closet than with Post University apparel from the Eagle Team Store? How about your dorm room, home office, apartment, or home? Is it missing that special touch that only an Eagle blanket, Eagle mouse pad, or Eagle desk mat can provide? If you answered yes to any of these questions, or all of them, it sounds like you need to race to posteagles.com, click on the Team Store, click on the Fans tab, then click on School Store on the left-hand side and shop all the latest Eagle swag and apparel. Shop today. Use the code GIFTS15 to receive 15% off any order of $75 or more. Exclusions do apply. That's code GIFTS15, GIFTS15. It'll expire on Monday, November 24th. You can also visit the campus store and the Lever Student Center on campus. They're open Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Just to do a little bit of wrapping up, men's soccer falls 2-1 to the University of Bridgeport, ending their season in the first round of the NCAA tournament. A rough end to a great season for the men's soccer team. He'll hopefully be back again next season. Again, they were ranked and just unable to beat Bridgeport 2 games in a row. They fall in the first round of the tournament. Women's hockey, gigantic 3-2 win up at Stone Hill as Maddie Noonan scores a late power play goal to ice it for the Lady Eagles. They move to 5-10-1 overall in the NEWHA. Those two teams will rematch again tomorrow, 1 p.m. up at Stone Hill. Now, you look around the NE10. Your NE10 player of the week is Jonathan Surrett, who has been on a torrid pace this season. He's extended his point streak to 7 games and had multi-point streak of 4 games. He had 5 goals and 2 assists as the Greyhounds went 2-0-1 last week. At Fitchburg State, he scored a pair of goals and had an assist in a 5-3 win. And continued his hot pace with 2 more goals in Assumption's 5-2 win against St. Mike's. He finished the weekend with a goal and an assist in the 2-2 tie. Goaltender of the week, Cam Carroll from St. A's. He's a junior out of Putnam Valley, New York. He had a pair of games for the Hawks, 1 win and a tie against Southern New Hampshire. Carroll allowed a single goal in each game, saving 54 shots across both games. And your NE10 Rookie of the Week, Sean Connolly, freshman defenseman out of Canton, Massachusetts. Connolly posted a goal, his first of his career, and 2 assists in a 9-1 win over Southern New Hampshire. He led the team with 4 blocked shots on Saturday as well. Finished with 5 and was a +3. NE10 standings again early on, so you don't want to look too much into it. But we talk about why this game is so important to the Eagles. Assumption leading the way, 3-0-1 in conference, 5-1-1 overall, 10 points. By the way, we've talked to all the NASA accounts. We actually understand the NE10 standings now. We actually understand the standings. That's the amazing thing. So Assumption 3-0-1, 10 points. Franklin Pierce 3-0-0, 4-2 overall, 9 points. St. Mike's 2-1-1 in the NE10, 3-1-2 overall, 7 points. St. A's 1-2-1 in conference, 1-4-1 overall for 4 points. Southern New Hampshire 0-3-1 overall, 1-3-1 overall for 1 point. And the Eagles 0-3 in conference, 1-3 overall for 0 points. Paid a lot of money to those NASA accountants, Coach, to figure that out.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting next year, too, to see what they do playoff-wise. Because with AIC in there, hopefully they go back to top 4 make it. I'd love to see them go top 4 make it. Right? We're done on that weekend. Then Wednesday, we play. Then once we have it, we go 3-game series. Because you got to bring something.
That would be fun.
Because they don't have the playoffs like Division III does. So something that you could add to it to make it a little more attractive for those players, something more unique. Just do a 3-game three-game series.
Three-game series would definitely be fun, particularly for the finals if you don't want to do that in the semis.
No, do it for the finals, exactly.
Upcoming schedule within the NE10, St. A's and Franklin Pierce will play in about an hour and a half or so up at Franklin Pierce. Southern New Hampshire is at Assumption. That game starts at 7:30 up in Worcester. Again, the Eagles and St. Mike's play again tomorrow, 2:30 here on the Post University Sports Network. 2:15 pregame for Coach and I. Southern New Hampshire and Assumption will play at 7 tomorrow. St. A's and Franklin Pierce will play at 7 tomorrow. Then we're into close to the Thanksgiving break as everybody seems to be playing Tuesday except Post. St. Mike's will be at Amherst on Tuesday. Southern New Hampshire at Westfield State. Assumption at UMass Dartmouth. Framingham State at Franklin Pierce. And St. A's at Riviere. The Eagles will play a week from tomorrow at Arcadia University. They'll have 2 games out at Arcadia next Saturday and Sunday. Then they'll wrap up their fall schedule playing Franklin Pierce at home here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. That'll be on December 2nd. That's your look around the NE10 here for a second period intermission on a Friday. First game of a 2-game set against St. Mike's where the score is 0-0 right now. We'll come back with coach's analysis and a recap of the second period and the game so far in 2 minutes. You're listening and watching the Post University Hockey on the CACC Network at youtube.com/GoPostEagles, comprising the Post University Sports Network. Second period intermission here at the Sports Center of Connecticut in Shelton, Connecticut. No score. It's been a fun hockey game. A lot of things going on. First period, again, a little bit of a slog. Second period, a little bit more wide open. Shots on goal in period number 2 for the Eagles, 13. 2-period total of 27 for St. Mike's, 11. 2-period total of 19. Face-offs, 12-10 St. Mike's. In the second, they lead 22-20 overall. Coach, we were talking about it. Not a lot of penalties other than that little scrum there, but both teams have had opportunities. Both goalies have left some rebounds, but it's going to take a Herculean effort to get a goal. And Coach Richter's speech to his team in the intermission is going to show how they come out in the third period, and it's a big third period.
Right, right now you're struggling to get a win in your division, but you're playing a top team and you're playing right with them. So you have to try to draw off that as a player. From the tactical aspect of it, this is where it gets to be a little bit, fun, probably more fun observing, right, than being on the bench and having to deal with it, I guess. But, if you looked at the faceoffs, like we were talking, there are a couple of centers on each team that are struggling. So Will Post try to recognize that and match one of their higher percentage draw winners against the St. Mike's, since Post is home, has the last change. Will they look to do that in the offensive zone and try to create some offense and take advantage of that if you can?
I know it's a stat we don't track. It'd probably be great if somebody could track it, but there have been several turnovers in both teams' zones that have led to opportunities. It feels like somebody's going to make a mistake, and that's going to be the goal that sort of changes this game right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And the other thing that'll be a really good stat that I think it'd be good to track is something that I call play after pass, right? And you're seeing that, right? Like there's a pass, and what happens next? If I pass the puck to you, is there somebody right on you? So that you and I connected with a pass, but it was essentially a useless pass. Or do I pass to you and I get a good pass to you, but you turn that puck over? So as important as that first pass is, to me that next pass, that play after that pass, is really critical. And in a game like this, all those little details between those, the face-offs, all those things can be the difference makers, which gives you territorial advantage, which once you begin to get territorial advantage, as a player, your feet get a little bit lighter, you get a little bit more engaged, you get a little bit quicker. It's just a natural thing, that motivation and that momentum kind of kick in for you. So we'll see, hopefully, that is the case for Post.
Waiting for the teams to take the ice for the third period. St. Mike's chomping at the bit there, waiting to get onto the ice. Waiting for the Eagles to do so. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, 2:30, for Puck Drop, as these two teams will fight again. 2:15 pregame for Coach Whitney and myself, as we will bring you game 2 of the 2-game series. Eagles have retaken the ice. As we get ready for an exciting and important third period. Again, this isn't necessarily season defining, but it's an important game for the Eagles here. Next year, by the way, as Coach and I were sort of talking about in the intermission, we add AIC back to the mix, so we'll be back to a 7-team conference.
Yep.
See how that plays out.
Yeah.
I have to wonder if you can pick up an 8th team somewhere along the way. And
that would be fantastic. Growth in any league is a plus, right? And see
some independents out there who are looking.
Yeah, there are for sure. We'll see what happens here too. If we can get some pace and tempo going, because right now, honestly, this reminds me of 5 o'clock traffic. You're moving along, all of a sudden, for some reason, traffic slows. Then it just picks right back up again. But then a mile down the road, it slows again. That's what this kind of reminds me of a little bit right now. So hopefully we can be blue on our GPS the rest of the way here.
Or an 8-hour bus ride, depending on who you're talking to.
Oh, yeah.
Eagles in the white going right to left as you look at your screen and dial. The Knights in the purple. The Purple Knights going left to right as you look at your dial. Santoro lost the faceoff. Eagles tried to send it up the middle, but turned it over, did Rieger. Now Santoro picks it up at the blue line on a chop check of his own. Here's Santoro over the line, right circle, takes a shot, falls down on the fresh ice. Rieger then takes a shot from the point, stopped by Manahan, who's made 28 saves now as this game goes on. The puck gets behind the Eagle defense and all the way down the ice, but good job by Haas to get at it before Walsh can. Walsh then comes out the other side, tried to turn on a backhand, it rolled off his stick, otherwise he would have had a corner to pick at as Kunin left a little hole, but back the other way come the Eagles. Here's Rieger trying to center in front, it deflected behind the net. Santoro finds a streaking Kimball, but it goes by his stick and out to center. Right back in come the Eagles. Kimball leaves for McMains. McMains tries to punch it down deeper into the corner, but can't get it by the top of the circles. And back come the Purple Knights out the other way up on left wing. It's McCarthy. McCarthy sends it in for, that's 28. That's Nauman. Nauman sends it all the way around over here. Stolen away by Pacheco. Pacheco tries to get it up around the wall. Can't do it, but a nice play by Murray to take that pass away. And out come the Eagles 2-on-2. Murray dumps it in, will chase after it, goes behind the net, gets there first, feeds it over to the near side. Bad angle shot taken, blocked. Behind the net goes McMains. McMains checked by Thomas. Pitched up the wall, kept in the zone by Hope. Right at the blue line, it pops free to center. Eagles making a change behind the play, and back the other way comes the Knights. Knights over the line, nice little move, walks in, shot stopped by Kuneen's stick as McCarthy broke in around the Eagle defense with speed, and a big save there by Kuneen early in the third. Puck bouncing around at center, back to LeCompte inside his own zone. He'll go back to his D-man, Douglas. Douglas then turned it over, but then stolen away again. Out the other way come the Knights. Long shot taken, gloved by Kuneen as Last took a shot from about 30 feet out. It bounced off the side of the net. Referee lost sight of it as it took a funky bounce off the side of the net and then just died right by the post. Ben tried to glove it, missed it, but the referee lost sight of it.
Which is an interesting whistle, right? Because that referee is on the back side of the play. This referee is on the side of the play where the puck was, and he didn't blow the whistle.
Eagle defenseman was there, but again, a loose puck is a loose puck. And Bacal, who's been best on the faceoffs against Last, he loses that. Last wins it. St. Mike's chips it into the near side corner. Bacal does a good job on Last. Puck squirts free to Rieger. Comes all the way over to Gazzardi. Gazzardi chips it up in the air. Rieger tries to get it out. He bounces it on his stick as he gets to center. A 2-on-2. McCall to Pekka. Pekka tried to rim it down, gets blocked, comes out the other side with it, still has it in the zone, but then turned it over. And then a bad pass off the back of Nauman. But here comes Last. Last gets to the blue line, dumps it in behind Kennedy. Rieger leaves it for Kennedy nicely as those two D talk to each other. And now behind the net is Rieger. Kennedy, long pass to McCall. McCall gets to the red line. He'll just chip it in, sending Pekka in after it. Pekka tries to get there first. He does. He chipped it behind the net, but Lely was there. Was there, and then a turnover to Baxter. Baxter tries to bring it in, go around Glassrud. That's two big boys there, but Glassrud not only took it away, but finished his check on top of it. Behind the net is Lely. Pacheco fighting with him. A couple number 10s in there as well as Baxter comes in after it. Start the rugby scrum again with 3 minutes gone in the third. Still no score here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. Pekka racing in after it to beat Nichols to it. Puck squirts into the corner. It pops free. Both of the Knights defensemen go off on a line change. So the Eagles 5-on-3 right now, just trying to get the puck out of the zone. But the good job by the Purple Knights to stop him. Eagle bench looking for a hold on Baxter as he kind of wrapped Pacheco around. Good job by McCall to come away with it. Then the puck goes back into the scrum. 6 players into that far side corner. Gazzardi turns away with it. Now a man down. Doesn't appear to be any kind of penalty.
I think he just got tied up with those guys and got twisted the wrong way.
Eagle bench upset that Baxter didn't get a holding call on Pacheco. Player down is that 21? That Lely? It's Lely. Able to get up under his own power, but hurting a little bit with 3:48 gone in the third. Still no score. I don't think there's going to be any penalties here. And on top of that, a face-off outside the Eagle zone.
I'll tell you, with the physicality of this, it's not like there's been bone-crushing checks. It's just been really physical, hard work along the corners there. You wonder what tomorrow's game is going to look like because all these guys are going to sleep tonight, I'll tell you that.
Tomorrow will be 8-7, Coach, with 7 power play.
That's the way that goes, right?
Hope in his own zone, chips it up the wall. Good job by Santoro, who gets stuck within the linesman, so he lost the puck instead of having to break up the right wing. Turnover, a couple number 5s fighting for it as Alain sends it into the zone. And O'Connell will go behind his own neck, being watched by Walsh. Feeds a chip pass to Santoro, who will get it up to Haas at center. Haas tries to go around the defense. He somehow got it to Hawkins. He gives it back to Haas. Haas closing in, sends it toward the net, goes behind the net. Hawkins chasing after it, sort of riding the Purple Knight player, in this case Sacco. Puck now into the slot. Turnaround shot by Haas. Blocked. Haas again off the leg. Keeps it in the zone momentarily before it's popped free to center. And then a bad deflection goes to Sacco. Sacco at the end of the shift over the line. Takes a shot. Gets blocked. Clearly at the end of his shift couldn't get his legs going. But then the Eagles turn it over again as Hawkins spun it back behind the net. And the only one there was Forselius. Eagles don't manage to get the puck back. As high in the air goes Rieger. Kimball comes off the bench. I think that's a hand pass.
Yeah, that's a good eye by the official right there. Tried to sell it, moved the stick with it too, but they didn't buy it.
That'll put the face-off deep inside the Purple Knight zone with 4:49 to go in the third period. Still no score here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. Coach Pete Whitney I'm Jeff Nelson, bringing you all of the exciting action on the Post University Sports Network. Murray. Sort of an even draw. I guess I'll give it to somebody, but Murray ends up with the puck behind the net. Nice try to swing it around, but Kennedy pinched in. He's below the circle, takes a bad angle shot that gets deflected now. Wrist shot by Rieger through a screen, and a right pad save by Manahan. Coming the other way is McCarthy. McCarthy in the zone, stops. Right point, gets around his opposing number. McMahon closes it, looking for a deflection. He had it just past the stick of Lecomte, and back comes McMahon on a 2-on-1. McMahon's over the line. He scores! Huge goal in 5:23 by Bradley McMahon, his first of the year, and the Eagles get the break they need. It's 1-0, and a great shot, but I'm not sure what Wolanin was doing defensively on that play. He just backed up and let McMahon skate into it and then rip a shot by Manahan. Yeah, and a big break for the Eagles, 1-0.
That's probably a play he wants back. I think he could have closed his gap in the neutral zone there and then either force an earlier pass or perhaps a dump. He's got good feet. I think he could have got there.
He seemed a little resigned to just playing defense, and McMahon wasn't exactly flying up the ice. He just happened to get to the puck and then ripped a shot by Manahan, and the Eagles get the huge first goal. That might open this game up a little bit as well. 1-0 at 5:23. Nice shot by Bradley McMahon, his first goal of the season, the sophomore out of South Portland, Maine. 5'10", 161, makes it 1-0 at 5:23. Now the Eagles in front. McDevitt with a shot that deflects off a leg in front. Looked like Patrick Last. St. Mike's trying to get it out of the zone, and back the other way comes Last. Last looking for a streaking Winicki. Knights. Again, trying to open it up a little bit. Pacheco, a good glove down. Pekka tries to chip it up ahead to Gazzardi. They keep it at the red line. Gazzardi does a good job. Then he gets taken down. Still no penalties called in this game. Other than that little strum with 2 seconds to go in the first period, there have been no penalties. Over the line is Sacco. Leaves for Forsilius. A long shot that goes high. Past the glove of Kunin. Good job in front by Hope to block that shot. But the Eagles can't get it out of the zone as it goes off a leg. Sacco gets taken down by Hope. Behind the net is Walsh. He leaves it right where the official is. That gives Hope an opportunity to come away with it. Gives up the wall to Gazzardi. Gazzardi can't get it out. He turns it over to Walsh. Forsilius in the far side corner. Checked by Hope. Still fighting for it with McCall. Goes behind the net. Nice centering pass in front to Walsh. Who couldn't go from backhand to forehand. And out comes McCall. McCall to Pekka. Pekka with some speed. He brings it in over the line. Offsides. With 7 minutes even gone in the third period. Eagles 1-0. It's McMahon's first of the year from Rieger at 5:23. Officially on the board. For Rieger, his team, his second assist of the season. For McMahon's, his second point of the season, his first goal. Kennedy, long shot, swallowed for a moment and left a rebound, did Manahan. Puck back to center, dump back in. Eagles have a little bit more legs, and St. Mike's is looking to open it up possibly a little bit more, trailing 1-0. Not too much, though. It is only a one-goal game, and lots of time left.
Yeah, but they're going to have to push the pace. St. Michael's and Post has been playing well defensively, like I say, collapsing around pucks. So they're going to have to really push it the next 12 minutes here to get some scoring opportunities.
Kennedy inside his own zone, gets it up to Kimball, who gets it back to Kennedy, brings it in over the line. Fakes a leave for Beckett, takes a bad angle shot, stopped by Manahan. Rebound, he gets over to the other side as a wrist shot taken by Kimball, stopped by Manahan. 2 big saves by Cole Manahan. Eagles make some changes. Murray with a turnaround spinorama shot, gloved by Manahan. As Eagles throwing a lot of pucks at the net with 7:56 gone in the third. 1-0 Post.
Yeah, and that's a good strategy, right? You want to get pucks around the net, try to slow it down to get draws, get face-offs, and again, see if you can't match a little bit up against your opponent because you do have that last draw.
Murray and last in the face-off to Manahan's right. Won by Murray, though the Knights end up getting the puck from the face-off dot. Sends it behind the net. Spinning away from the check is Nichols, but the Eagles fighting for it in the corner. Nichols tried to rim it up the wall. There were 3 Eagles over there. They finally get it out the center all the way down. O'Connell wins the race on Nauman, then loses the puck, gets back on it, turns it over. Bad angle shot goes wide through the crease. Rebound toward the net, deflected in front. Kunin gets a stick on it as it pops over the net after a tip by Winicki. O'Connell fighting Winicki behind the net. He comes out the other side. He had an opportunity because Ben was looking left and he came out right. Eagles wisely ice it, but a break for the Eagles there as Winicki came out on the left side. Ben looked right, had a huge hole, and somebody got a stick in there and got it all the way down the ice with 8:34 gone in the third.
Yeah, this is where you have to be careful and have your head on a swivel. 5-on-5, everybody's got to pick somebody up because St. Michael's has got a group of very skilled players, so they move that puck tactically pretty well there.
Couple of 21s, Lely and Murray on the draw. Murray hasn't been great today in the face-off dot. Not sure who technically wins that one either, Coach. Out comes McMains. McMains gets to center. A long shot goes wide. Kimball turns on a bad angle, sends it behind the net. McMains, the goal scorer, fighting after it in the far side corner. Alain rims it around, gives to Racker, who feeds up to Baxter. Baxter sends it in the middle. Pacheco there first just chips it right back. McDevitt picks it up at the red line. He'll send a long cross-ice pass into the zone. McQuegan chasing after it. Norling down there as well. McQuegan in the far side corner goes behind the net using his 6'3" frame. McQuegan rimmed it around to Pacheco. Pacheco toward the net, deflected right on. Norling got a stick on it. Saved by Manahan, goes behind the net. McDevitt fighting in the near side corner. 3 players out and down the ice. This is no icing. Had enough topspin. Pacheco to Norling. Norling trying to get it out of the zone. Does with a interesting pool cue type of pass. Gives it to McDevitt. McDevitt then lays a hit on Pekka. Picks up the puck at center, and he falls down like a bowling pin. Takes out 2 players. And back comes St. Mike's the other way. Forselius couldn't get that pass. Couldn't corral it. It goes all the way down the ice for icing, and now a face-off deep in the Knight zone with 10:10 remaining in the third period. Eagles still with a 1-0 lead. On the goal by McMains, assisted by Rieger at 5:23. Santoro on the draw with, looks like Sacco to Manahan's left. Santoro did not win that one. Sacco tried to chip it up the wall. Nice job by Kennedy to keep it in momentarily, then turned it over to Forselius. Rieger back to help out, though. Kennedy and Rieger, a solid defensive pair for the Eagles, both offensively and defensively, and that was a good setup there where you could see them help each other out. Beckett looks for Rieger, goes off a stick, back to the blue line. Haas takes down Forselius. He'll play it inside his own zone. Looks for Beckett, a little too far. Santoro chasing after it. Everybody avoiding a collision. And back the other way comes St. Mike's. They'll dump it in, go for a line change. Rieger with time. Under 10 to go in the third. 1-0 Eagles. Turnover at center. Brings it in over the line. Nice chip play by Rieger to get a stick on it as McCarthy stole it at center. Now here comes Racker. He gets around Kennedy. Over the line. Brings it toward the net. Goes through the crease with it. Lost the puck. Eagles turn it over again right in the middle, but 2 Knights hit each other inside the zone. Sticks hit each other at least, and that ruined the opportunity for Marshall Thomas, who picked up a loose puck 40 feet out in the slot and would have had an opportunity had he, and I think that was McCarthy, not sort of collide. Get you an update on the scoring in a moment as we get an official change on the assist. Pekka goes around the defense of the Knights. Pekka walks in over the line. Brings it back to O'Connell. O'Connell, long, low shot, looking for a deflection. He got it, but it went wide. Pekka in the near side corner. 3-man game, gives it to Gazzardi, who tried to spin and turn deep in the high slot. Puck turned over, sent all the way down. They're going to call an icing here and a break for the Eagles. If that's an icing. update on the scoring. Take the assist away from Rieger, give it to Kimball. So McMains from Kimball, 5:23. Here at the Sports Center for Kimball, his first assist of the season, senior from Elliott, Maine. 8:42 to go in regulation time. Long shot taken by Kimball. Blockered away by Manahan. Kimball, couple of 19s now fighting in that corner. Kimball and Racker. Puck gets sent all the way down the ice. Doesn't appear to be any icing. As Hope plays it behind his own net. St. Mike's goes for a line change. Nice stick by Murray to dump it all the way in. And Kimball, the first one in after it. In front looking for Murray. He tries to spin a Rama shot around the net. Not sure if he hit the side of the net or Manahan got a pad on it, but not in the goal either way. Good stick there by McMains to keep an offensive opportunity away from Winicki. And not sure what that is. Did you say offsides?
See where the
looks like it's an offsides.
Yeah.
8:03 to go in the third. McDevitt and last on the draw. Won by McDevitt. Norling tried to chip it further down. Eagles trying to get it out of their own zone as Pacheco carries it. Lost it outside the zone. Glassroot will have to chase after it. Glassroot. Behind the back pass to Pacheco. Pacheco gives to McDevitt. McDevitt. Long pass ahead to McQuegan. McQuegan with some speed up the middle. He's got some speed. Closing in with a shot. He scores! McQuegan on the forehand. Ripped it by the blocker of Manahan. And at 19 rather. The Eagles take a 2-0 lead. That was some speed and power. He got around the defense. Used his body position and put it by Manahan for his first goal of the year, the senior from Hamburg, New Jersey, and the Eagles have a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest goals that Hewitt scored, I would say, in the last few years here. And it comes at a great time. Played a good game right along, and nice to see a big guy like that moving his feet, getting pucks to the net, and getting rewarded for it.
Can't stress enough how much that second goal is important as well, because it sort of felt like even though the first goal, Eagles took the lead, it was going to be the next goal that sort of really kept the tide where it is. And it's McQuegan at 12:19. We'll get you the assists when we can. But the Eagles with a 2-0 lead here midway through the third. Puck sent down around the boards. Manahan played it. Tried to feed it up. Puck rimmed around the wall. Pekka goes after it. Pekka in the near side corner. Hope closing in with a shot that goes off a leg. And back come the Purple Knights the other way with Baxter. Baxter getting back, but good job by Kennedy to get in front of him. Good Eagle defense again to get in front of Baxter. Forselius, long shot from the point, stopped by Kunin. Rebound, bops in front. Forselius behind the net. Picked up the rebound, a dangerous shot that Kunin couldn't control. Here's Forselius taken down by Santoro, gets to the red line and dumps it in. Pekka chasing Racker. Pekka trying to beat Racker to it. Racker had it roll off his stick. Turnover, centered it into the slot looking for Kimball, but it goes off a leg. O'Connell keeps it in. O'Connell leaves for Gazzardi. Gazzardi with a shot taken, stopped by Manahan. Eagles getting some pressure as well as St. Mike's has had to open it up a little bit. Nice stick check by McCowell. Turnover again, and Pekka will send it into the zone. McQuegan from McDevitt and Pacheco at 12:19. Eagles have a 2-0 lead there. Kimball sends it in. Whistle for icing with 5:50 to go in the third. So McQuegan from McDevitt and Pacheco at 12:19. Give Pacheco his first point, sophomore at Belchertown in Massachusetts. And McDevitt his first point of the season, the senior out of Southington, Connecticut. So everybody got their first point of the season on that one. Murray wins the draw, goes behind the net after, chased by two Knights, almost turned it over, then did. Then the Eagles fighting hard to get it back. Murray pins the Knights along the board. That was Thomas. Eagles trying to push it out. They go D to Dito Douglas. Douglas, long shot, gets to the deflection, they score. Douglas took the shot from the point. It was deflected in front, I believe, by Quinn McCarthy. And at 14:31, St. Mike's on the board.
And that makes that McGuigan goal so much bigger at this point as well.
Dresser and Douglas the assists on that one. At 14:31, so 2 minutes and 12 seconds after the Eagles take a 2-0 lead, St. Mike's gets one on the board to make it 2-1. So now let's see if the momentum swings. Still 5 minutes to go in this third period. Eagles lead 2-1. Rieger to Kennedy. Kennedy gets it out the center. Tipped down by Kimball. It also gives St. Mike's some life knowing they can get one by Cunene. So this is going to be a pressure-filled 5 minutes really for both teams. Haas trying to chase away to D. Instead, a long pass comes up the middle of Torianen. Torianen a long shot that Ben can't control, but got it away from the streaking offensive player who is Nauman. Eagles now trying to get it out of the zone. Knights go for a change. Santoro goes behind his net to O'Connell with 4:35 to go in the third. O'Connell high in the air looking for Haas, too far and an icing. With 4:32 to go in regulation time, 2-1 Eagles. Again, McCarthy from Dresser and Douglas at 14:31. There's a joke in there somewhere, but when the 3 goal scorers are McMains, McGuigan, and McCarthy.
That's all I can say.
I'm not making a joke. I'm just saying there's a joke in there somewhere.
No, I'm just trying to take advantage of the letter M.
If you bet in your parlay 3 MCs would score a goal today, you've won money. Probably won a lot of money. But puck sent to center. Beckett chips it into the Knight zone, played by Racker. Racker comes out the near side with it, was going to send it up, instead turned and spun and gave it back to Captain Allen. Here's Ashton Allen with a pass up ahead to center. Dumped in all the way down and around by Winicki. Chased after it is Hope. Hope being held off by Nauman. Strum behind it again with 4 minutes to go in regulation. 2-1. Eagles. I think a glove came off, got put back on. Now back to the point to Douglas, but Douglas fumbled it at the left point blue line. His shot was the one that was deflected that led to the goal. And now Pacheco has an assist in this third period. Behind the net when it has time. Looks ahead from McQuegan, who's got the lead goal right now. Dumps it in, chased by Norling. Good job defensively there by Dresser to spin away from Norling. Use the net as an extra sort of blocker. And get the puck out the center. The Eagles nearly turn it over, but good back checking by Glassrud helps out. Pacheco, long pass from McQuegan into his leg, turned it over to Douglas. Douglas spins away, gives it to Walsh. Walsh gets to the red line, looks to dump it in. Instead, it got picked up by Forselius right inside the blue line. He tried to make a move, but the Eagles chipped it away with 3 minutes to go in regulation time. 2-1 Eagles. Here's Walsh. Walsh gets to the red line. He carries it in over the line, but a nice stick check by Pacheco again. The Eagles will send it back into the Purple Knight zone. Eagles just standing up at the blue line using those sticks to stick check. So if the Knights want a stick check up top there, stick move, the Eagles will swipe it away just like that happened there as Kimball used his stick again to swipe it off the stick of the oncoming Purple Knight offensive player. Now Kimball tries to chip it away, gets it in, dumps it in, 2:35 to go in the third. Behind the net is Douglas. Shot right on, stopped by Manahan. Out come the Knights again, pass up ahead to McCarthy. McCarthy, the goal scorer, carries it in over the line. Again, a nice stick check this time in a 2-on-1. Nope, 2-on-2 because the defenseman come on. Here's Guzzardi to Pekka. Pekka closes in with a shot that gets blocked. Goes off the glass, somehow doesn't go out of play. Kept in the zone by Guzzardi. Guzzardi turns and spins, takes a shot that goes way wide. McCowell now playing it behind the net. Good defense there by Racker. Racker, though, turned it over behind the net. Pekka fighting for it, and the scrub continues with 1:55 to go in regulation time. 2-1 Eagles. Here's McCarthy. McCarthy carrying it to center. Dumps it high and in. Ben might just glove this, and it sort of softball bounced on him. Wasn't able to glove it. Turnover. Lecomte tries to go around Kennedy, but a good job by the Eagles to help out and get the puck out to center. Knights looking to get Manahan off, but both times the Eagles have stopped him and sent him back into the zone. By the way, for McCarthy, that's his third goal of the season. We didn't mention that on the goal he scored at 14:31. McCarthy's third from Dresser and Douglas at 14:31. For Douglas, his 6th point. For Dresser, his 4th. Icing on the Eagles, 1:16 to go in the third. Manahan pulled, face off deep inside the Eagles zone to the right of Ben Kunin. Nope. They are not going to pull Manahan, which is interesting, or they're going to call timeout. Confusion by St. Mike's as they had pulled Manahan and put him back in and pulled him and then called timeout. So, 1:16 to go in the third period. Eagles lead 2-1. McMains from Kimball at 5:23, and then McQuegan from Pacheco and McDevitt at 12:19 gave the Eagles a 2-0 lead. 2:12 later, McCarthy gets his 4th from Dresser and Douglas. Excuse me, his 3rd from Dresser and Douglas at 14:31. That's where we stand with 76 seconds to go in regulation time. Coach, what do the Eagles need to do to pull this game out?
The strategy that they've had the last 4 minutes. You win and draw. If you don't have a clean pass to get out of the zone, flip it into the neutral zone. Force St. Mike's to get back and recover, because right now the clock's your friend.
Don't forget, these two teams will rematch tomorrow, 2:30 here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. Come on down, watch hockey, get some hot French fries and some hot chocolate. Come out, watch some good NCAA hockey as these two teams will rematch tomorrow. Coach and I on the broadcast, 2:15 pregame, 2:30 on the Post University Sports Network.
You got a minute 16. Just this is all about managing the puck for both teams, really, because you only get so many opportunities offensively if you're St. Mike's with a minute 16 left to go. And
everybody call timeout again, Coach, so we got another timeout to fill.
Another one. The longer the puck is on your stick with post, it's not on a St. Mike's stick, so that's to your benefit too.
76 seconds to go. It looks like they're going to pull Manahan, as St. Mike's did bring out 6. Ben all alone in his crease, the only one on the ice right now, as everybody else is in the timeout side. Face-off will be to his right. Just not sure the 11 players who will be coming out with sticks to play it. I would almost guarantee it's Rieger and Kennedy. Let's see. Rieger, Kennedy, Santoro, Norling, and Haas, the Eagle 5. The St. Mike 6 are Forselius, Sacco, McCarthy, Winicki, Douglas, and Walsh. So 5 forwards for St. Mike's. No Ty Bloom. We haven't seen Ty Bloom in a while.
No.
Either. Face-off one-timer shot, scores!
Oh.
Face-off win, back to Douglas, sent it over to Forselius, who one-timed the shot from the blue line and beat Kunin through a screen at 18:49, and it's 2-2.
And that's one of those situations where, you know, as a center, you're not going to win every draw, but you can't lose a draw clean in your end, which they know that. They know that, but execution there was an issue.
Forselius from Douglas, and we'll see who the second one is, gets the assist. It'll definitely be a second assist at 18:49. Now we're all even up again. So a game that was ridiculously close checking opened up a little in the second period. Eagles take a 2-0 lead, but they give it back with 2 goals in the last 6 minutes of regulation. And the game is tied at 2. Long pass up the middle, that'll be an icing.
This is an important draw here, so you want to get a good match with your centers. Kind of lag back a little bit maybe and see who they put out.
.48 to go in regulation. Now 2-2. Murray wins the draw back to Kennedy. Kennedy with time, sends it toward the net. A right pad save, stopped by Manahan. Puck sent up the middle. Long shot from outside the blue line, left on a rebound. Diving play by a couple of Knights. Here comes Kimball. Kimball swings it over to McMains. McMains up on left wing and over the line. Makes a move toward the middle. Takes a shot toward the net. Just missed the post. Kimball comes out the other side with it. McMains spins away from the check. Still spinning away with it. 20 seconds to go in the third. 2-2. You missed a lot if you turned away for a couple of minutes. McMains an elbow. Knocked down somebody. Then a cross check by Wolanin. The puck just pinned on the wall with 10. Refs want them to move it. They're just about going to kill time here. If they don't, Eagles come away with it. 6 seconds. Centered it in front of Kimball. Manahan, though, was ready, and Kimball goes down with 2.4 to go in the third. So it looks like we're going to see an overtime, barring something phenomenal.
Yeah, and we'll see what they do here, because this is a perfect example of where, as a center, just don't lose the draw. If you're St. Mike's, tie up, just don't lose the draw. You only have 2.4 seconds left. You can pick up a point for sure, right? Go to overtime, maybe pick up a win one way or the other for both teams.
Macau will be the Eagle taking the face-off, and no time goes off the clock. Thrown out of the draw, Gazzardi will take it. Gazzardi tried to win it back, send it toward the net. That'll end the third period, though. So both teams come away with a point. Eagles, though, had a 2-0 lead early in the third. Well, midway through the third, really. As McMain scored his first from Kimball at 5:23. Then McQuegan scored his first from Pacheco and McDevitt at 12:19. And the Eagles looked like they were in good position. But Quinn McCarthy's third from Dresser and Douglas at 14:31. And then a sixth attacker goal by Forselius from Douglas at 18:43.
Yeah, and this is a situation where the 3-on-3, I don't think you can really say who it does favor. I mean, St. Mike's is skilled. Post does a great job with their open ice. You saw them dominate on that 4-on-4. So potentially they can be doing the same thing here on the 3-on-3.
Shots on goal in the third period for St. Mike's 10, for the Eagles 9. 3-period total, St. Mike's 29, Eagles 36. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play. Eagles dominating in faceoffs in the third period. They lead 34-26 overall and 14-6 in the third. Overtime, 5 minutes, 3-on-3. So should be fun. Eagles had a decent record in overtime last season. Looks like Kennedy, Kimball, and Santoro. Douglas, who has 2 assists in the game. Thomas and McCarthy, the St. Mike's 3. Add an assist to S.J. Lecomte on the Forselius goal at 18:43. So Forselius from Douglas and Lecomte at 18:43. McCarthy and over the line feeds a quick pass on a backhand. Stopped by Kunin just 6 seconds into the overtime, as Thomas was the beneficiary of a nice pass by McCarthy to start overtime. 3-on-3 overtime, 6 seconds into it. Face-off won this time by the Eagles, and they will bring it out of the zone. 3-on-3 is a lot about possession and movement, so here's Kimball. In over the line. Tried to leave it for Santoro. Puck popped into the air, and Kimball will regroup out at center, but he's being chased by the aggressive Marshall Thomas, so he'll spin away and give to Kennedy with 30 seconds gone. Santoro takes it at center on a pass from Kennedy, brings it in over on right wing, closes in, makes a fancy move in front, and a nice pad save by Manahan as Santoro just went around the entire St. Mike's team, got in the middle, took a shot. He just needed to lift it a little bit as the flipper of Manahan came out to stop it. Shot was a little low, but good opportunity there. Santoro goes to the bench. It's Murray, McMains, and Rieger now for the Eagles. Last in his own zone, he's got Winicki and Dresser with him, and he's got some speed. Fast, blows by Murray, walks in on a breakaway, takes a backhand, stopped by Kunin, who pushed into his own net by Fast. No goal, face off to his right with 1:15 gone in overtime.
And that was really a really nice bit of skating by Patrick Lass there. Kind of slowed down as the post player started to angle. He picked up his speed and was able to beat him to the net.
Second straight overtime game for St. Mike's, by the way. They had a 2-2 tie over the weekend. Here come the Eagles. Over the line, it's Rieger. Rieger tries to get away from the check of Alain. Gets pinned into the corner. Gazzardi thinks about going in to help out. Pushing away was Rieger, but out the other side comes Forselius, whose tying goal at 18:43 is what sent us to overtime. Here's Forselius. Brings it out. Slow moving, takes a return pass by Sacco, and then a turnover as the Eagles try to carry it out of the zone. Eagles trying to gain possession again. Sacco takes it away. Tried to feed it in the middle, but it got deflected away, and here comes McCall. McCall leaves for Gazzardi. 3-on-2 over the line. Leaves it for Rieger. Wasn't ready for it. Rieger spins away with it, and back come the Knights the other way, but down flying on the ice is Forselius. Everybody needs a line change except Rieger, and it's a 2-on-1 if he hurries back the other way. Here's Rieger, closing in, waits, leaves it for McQuegan, closing in, takes a shot, blocked in front. Not sure if that was Manahan or Douglas who blocked it. We're halfway through the 3-on-3 overtime. Still 2-2, which would be obvious because we're in overtime. Here comes McCarthy, who he scored the first Purple Knight goal. Over the line, on left wing now, goes to the right wing now, leaves it for for Nichols, but then he turns it over and the Eagles will have it in their zone with Haas. 2:16 to go in overtime. Haas with speed, trying to get away from the check. He does of McCarthy. He brings it in, had it roll off his stick after a 200-foot end-to-ender to Pacheco. He sends the shot toward the net. That's deflected by McQuegan. Stopped by Manahan with 2 minutes to go in overtime. Both teams will get a point if it stays 2-2. Chris Cross brings it in over the line as Thomas had it roll off his stick, and the Eagles will take control of it. Long pass ahead to a flying McMains into Kimball over the line. Shot goes wide as players look tired, and you're right, Coach. They're going to sleep well tonight. Last. Behind his net, who probably had the best offensive opportunity of overtime. Again, flying at center. Over the line. Carries in, takes a shot that gets deflected wide. Kimball tries to come out with it. Kimball being checked by Last. Needs some help. Gets some help. And here comes Santoro. Santoro. Quick little pass to Kennedy. Over the line. Spins back with it. Kennedy looking. Sends it in the middle, but a little too hard for Santoro. Santoro then spins away from the check of Last. Santoro closing in. Tried to feed it to Kennedy, who had an opening with a minute to go. Knights thinking about a long pass ahead. Dangerous change, though, as McMains almost came on a little too early. Pekka gets it behind the net. Neither team has a timeout, by the way, should there be a stoppage. Here's Pekka. He's got some speed. Gets to the red line. Carries it in. Over the line on right wing. He stops. Looks for help. Plays it around Douglas. Goes into the corner. Tried to center it in front. Turned it over. And back comes Winicki. Now a 2-on-1 the other way. Forselius with Winicki. Again, players tired going off on changes on 2-on-1s and 3-on-3 overtime. That's where you can tell where we are. Turnover in the slot. Ben got a stick on it. Douglas spins at center. 20 seconds to go in overtime. Douglas takes a return feed over on left wing. Takes a wrist shot toward the net. Swallowed whole by Kunin with 12.2 to go in the third. Well, there'll probably be a courtesy shootout, so somebody can take credit for the win. If this remains the score with 12.2 to go, it'll be 1 point for each team, the Eagles' first point of the season in the NE10. But still time for one more rush, and they're going to take their opportunity. Here's Rieger in over the line. Nice pass in front of robbery on Gazzardi by Manahan, who looks to the sky and shakes his head. As a 2-on-1 all the way down the ice between Gazzardi and Rieger. Finally got the centering pass over, and Manahan got the big glove out to rob him with 2.9 to go in the overtime. McCowell, not even sure what I'm supposed to say on that call as time runs out. Official dropped the puck, and both players just dove on top of it like it was a live hand grenade.
Yeah, well, both of them knew what was at stake there, and say Mike Duffy did not want to lose that draw.
So that'll be the end of overtime. Both teams will get a point. Eagles will be a tad frustrated to have a 2-0 lead late in the third and give up 2 goals for the tie. But they do get off the schneid. They'll move to 0-3-1 in conference and 1-3-1 overall. We are going to do the courtesy shootout, so somebody can go home a winner. But it will not change the outcome of the points in the standings.
No.
Not sure why we haven't gone to that level where everybody gets that point at this point.
I don't know.
Not the only thing that we don't do differently than the NHL. So McMains will be out first for the Eagles to take the shootout. Manahan in goal. I presume we're doing a 3-player shootout. Is that how we do it?
Yeah, it looks like that.
Okay. McMains picks up the puck at center. He'll go on to the left side of the ice, then cuts his way back into the middle. Closes it on Manahan, backhand, forehand.
Had him.
Had him, but it rolled off his stick.
Double clutch it. Couldn't quite tuck it in.
For a miss, and St. Mike's will have their opportunity. Their number 18, Quinn McCarthy, coming out. He scored a goal in the third period. He scored their first goal in the third period. He'll take the puck. He's got some speed. Coming down on right wing. Closing in on Kunin. Fakes the shot. Moves. And a nice stop by Ben to get the pad out there.
Good
Left
patience,
pad out by Ben
good
Kunin.
Patience by Ben right there.
McCarthy
Really
with
good.
a heck of a move. Hard to lift the puck when you get in that deep, and that was sort of the situation.
Yeah, that was for sure.
Out comes Holden Beckett, the sophomore out of Craig, Colorado. He'll take his opportunity. Right up the middle does Beckett, closing in, takes a shot. Stopped by Manahan. He looked for the 5-hole, but Manahan wasn't going to give it to him. And now Marshall Thomas, freshman out of Canton, Massachusetts, will have an opportunity. He again comes on right wing, then moves to the middle, lifting his legs up, closing in backhand off the outside of the post.
Sound like a post.
Not sure how much Ben got it or not.
Well, Ben did a good job forcing. There wasn't much of an angle there. There wasn't much to shoot at, really.
Here comes Owen Rieger.
This could be your goal here. Owen's at 7 shots on goal, I think, so far this game.
Rieger, right-handed shot over the line, fakes, takes a little wrist shot, gloved by Manahan. Manahan didn't really have to move. Didn't really have much of a hole. Manahan's 6'4". Got to make him move a little bit.
Yeah.
Hans Forselius, the junior out of Guilford, Connecticut, he'll take the opportunity on left wing. He'll slow it down. Right in the middle now, takes a shot, looking for the 5-hole, and Ben makes a save. We continue on, now in sudden death. Not that we're going to kill anybody if the game ends, but sudden death nonetheless. By the way, shots on goal in the overtime, 6-3 in favor of the Eagles, 42-32 in the game. So 40 saves for Manahan. Here comes Haas, his opportunity. Carries it in on right wing this time. Over the line, looks for a hole. He hit a post, did TJ Haas. And that puck came all the way out to the blue line after it hit the post. So now, St. Mike's an opportunity to win the game. Though, again, no additional points will be awarded. As A.J. Sacco takes the puck at center. He's a left-handed shot. He'll carry it in, bring it to the right face-off circle. Closes in, and a right pad save by Ben Kunin. And we continue on to shooter number 5.
Did you put ample amount of money in the meter? Parking meter?
I get worried sometimes I'll tow my car. Santoro, surprised he didn't go a little earlier because I'm going to be interested in seeing the moves here. He goes on right wing. Here's Joe Santoro closing in, backhand forehand, and a nice forehand chip, but stopped by Manahan. Sometimes it's good to go as after the game ends. There's less traffic.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. pretty sure, yeah.
A lot of people want my parking spot right now.
Well,
They're coming in for the skate.
It's Friday, too, so
Lecomte.
let that traffic clear.
He'll take it. Left-hand shot. Closes in. Waits. Backhand. Forehand. Scores! Lecomte.
So,
I think that's it.
I don't think anybody knows it was sudden death except for you and I.
There was a delay there. I mean, if they wanted everybody to go once, we'd be here a while. But good game anyway. So the
Almost
Eagles
got down to coaches going.
which would have been fun.
Sure.
Ultimately, though, the Eagles and St. Mike's tie 2-2. As we said, the St. Mike's wins in glory only. 2-2 final. Each team gets a point. Eagles fall. They don't fall. They go to 0-3-1 in conference. 1-3-1 overall. So that's their first point. For St. Mike's, they go to 3-1-3 overall. 2-1-2 in conference. That's their 8th point. Coach, this is really 3 games in 1.
I was thinking the exact same thing. So, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna do this not based on a shootout. I'm gonna do this based on a 60-minute game. And honestly, I have a tie actually, and I give it to the goaltenders for that first star because both guys played exceptionally and gave their teams every opportunity to win. And then really with a timely goal to tie the game, Hans Forsilius gets my third star with being able to bury that one with under a minute left.
Yeah, I agree completely. So 3 stars, 1A and 1B are Ben Cunine and Cole Manahan. And then the third star with the tying goal late in regulation, Hans Forsilius tonight. Should be a good sleep for everybody. But like we were saying a moment ago, 3 separate games really in one here. We had a slogfest in the first period. We had a little bit more open in the second period. And we had the actual goals in the third where the Eagles, for 13 minutes, had a 2-0 lead.
Yes.
Took control of the game, and then a big push in the last 7.
Yeah, and that's hard. When you get down, anytime you're down under 3 minutes, right, and they were doing all the right things, right? They were doing a great job protecting the play and that, and it came down to a clean face-off win and a quick release, and that was the difference maker to getting them to earn that tie for the Purple Knights.
The one thing we can look back at, too, is you think about the Eagles' 2 goals, individual efforts. McMains picked it up, big wrist shot. McQuegan, breakaway through the middle. St. Mike's goals, deflection off a shot from the point, screen shot on the shot from the point.
Right.
So we said these 2 teams played 2 different games, and first period one team played one way, then the other team they flipped it. Third period they both played the same, but the goals, Eagles had a lot more shots overall, but their goals were individual efforts versus sort of more 2 assist efforts by St. Mike's late in the game. It doesn't say anything other than should be fun tomorrow.
Yeah, and honestly, what it shows is with a 2-2 tie, both systems work.
That's right.
That's what it shows. Both systems work. So, again, I really think the difference today in a positive way were the goaltenders because they both made some really, really good, timely saves. So the game could have been very different when we got to that third period. So it'll be interesting to see, guessing coaches come back with the same 2 players in net and who can recharge the batteries, who can have that jump, because they're going to need to play a full, hard 60 minutes tomorrow, whoever that is, to win the game.
Should be a good one. We hope you can join us wherever you are tomorrow, whether you come in to the Sports Center of Connecticut or catch us on the Post University Sports Network. That'll be a 2:30 puck drop, 2:15 pregame. Coach and myself back for one of the last home games of the fall season, as the Eagles will try to get on the winning side in conference. They do get a point today, which ties them with Southern New Hampshire pending today's outcome, but good to get a point, but not the way they got it, a 2-2 tie here this afternoon. So, for Coach Pete Whitney, I'm Jeff Nelson. Up here in the broadcast center, we'll be back tomorrow. Hope you can join us wherever you are. Final score, St. Mike's 2, Post University 2, a sister kisser here at the Sports Center. We'll see you tomorrow, 2:30, puck drop, 2:15 pregame on the Sports Center at the Post University Sports Network. Good night, everybody.